Hey. Hello, 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 everybody. How are you? Get in here. Y'all, I'm sorry it took this long. I'm sorry, but I promise you it's justified. So, listen, we just got through watching that debacle. We did. And you will notice something different about our notes this evening. Our girl Ellie is here, our emotional support elephant. Say, hey, girl. We also have Jacqueline, the jackalope, hollering at everybody. She, letting y'all know what's up. She was watching too. But y'all gonna notice something very different about my notes tonight. As always, the vertical and our regular chat is going at the same time until we shut off the vertical. But let me tell y'all what's very different. So the notebook is here because that's how we started the evening. We started the evening with the notebook. Yes, we did. We got a whole page in, and we hadn't gotten past the first 2 minutes. So once I saw what was happening, my hand was already hurting. Y'all know I take notes when these hookers is talking because they like to lie so much. Y'all know, those of you who are not new to my channel or my platform, y'all know we hold these hookers accountable on these reality shows because while, it's supposed to be reality, unfortunately, in reality, a lot of these women are liars. So I have to hold them accountable. Y'all know we have done numerous streams. I wish we hadn't, but we have, where we've listened to audio. We've gone back to see who said what. Did you even have on what them people said you had on? The whole nine. So we have to take notes. So by the time my hand started hurting trying to keep up with the first page of notes, we got one page of notes, handwritten, and everything else is typed. I literally had to type the notes and still had to go back and slow it down and play because it was a lot being said. So we got one page handwritten. I'm just preparing y'all for what we're getting into, so that way maybe y'all will understand why I cannot beg y'all to hit the like button tonight. I need y'all to just hit it because you love me and I love you, because I don't love these hookers, but I love y'all, because if I did not, there's no way I would have been doing all this, okay? But let me give you an idea of why we do not have time to beg for likes tonight, okay? We got, count with me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pages of typed notes of what was said tonight on part 2 of Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. So I want y'all to let that sink in. We got one page handwritten, 12 pages of typed notes of what was said on that stage tonight. And I feel like with everything that was said this evening, I would have been very ill-equipped to take those notes without using the laptop. And I would have done y'all a disservice to try to take those notes without that laptop, because it was a lot said, and there's no way we can review part 2 of the RHOA reunion without having adequate notes, because there was a whole lot said on that stage tonight. So far, so good. I'm going to tell y'all this. Hey, who's this? Marissa Mormon. Hey, honey, welcome. I'm going to tell y'all this before we start greeting folks and getting everybody tucked in. Get your blankets, your bottled water, your snacks, whatever you need to make it through the night. Get it ready. Because when we buckle down, we got to get this thing popping. There's a lot going on. But hey, Michelle Montague. Hey, Terrell. Oh, you told me to shut up. Baby, you thought your mama was over here? She's not over here, sugar. Let me go on and block you. I know you're looking for your mother, but that whore is not over here, okay? Let's go and get rid of you. But yeah, so y'all once we get tucked in, we gotta, buckle down, because we got a lot of notes to get into, a whole lot of notes to get into. Yeah, so without further ado, those of you who are on the vertical, hey, I love you guys. I'm glad you're here. But the vertical is just here just in case folks do not get their notifications. All right. So when I end the live over here, if you're looking at me here, when I end this live, if you hit the icon for the channel, it will bring you to our main chat, okay? Because it's going to show you that I'm still live, but have a red ring around it. That is accurate. I am still live, and we're waiting on y'all in the main chat, okay? Let me end that. All right. Those of y'all who are over here, you already in the right place. And like I said, we ain't got time to beg. Y'all know I ain't too proud to beg, but tonight we just ain't got the time. Not with 12 pages typed. We don't. Okay. But how y'all doing? It's so good to see you. Let's greet who's here real quick. Y'all, please remember to hit your like button. Remember to put your like number in the chat. When you hit the like button and the like count goes up, that's your like number. Okay, we have not been able to play the like lottery for a long time, so I would love it if y'all would go ahead and hit it. Yes, I still have my little skincare thing on my head. I didn't even have time to take it off because once part 2 of this reunion took off, I ain't had a minute to do nothing. Okay, so I apologize in advance for still being in skincare mode, and I had not completed my facial massage and the moisturizing quite yet. But the skin ain't dry. You know, she still got a little glow. But I didn't have time to do everything because we had to go on and get down on it. You know, like we really want it. So y'all, please hit your like button. Put your like number in the chat. Your engagement button is on the bottom right-hand side. It's your circle with your heart emoji. Tap it. Send up the bubbles. You know I'm sensitive. Okay. Make sure y'all are greeting everybody. If you do curse in my chat, please misspell your curse words. No bickering or arguing. Let's not disrespect anybody. Your fave may not be someone else's and vice versa. But please, please bear in mind that your host this evening does not like any of these women. So please speak your mind. Have a blast. If you must cuss, just misspell your cuss words, and you are free to drag any of these women to your heart's content. This is not a stand channel. I'm your stand. I'm a you stand. Okay? I'm a you stand and I'm a Jesus stand. But I'm not a stand of none of these women. So you can drag anybody you like. You know, just don't do no cussing. You know, don't do no anti-black stuff. Don't do no, misogynist stuff. And everything else is okay. Okay? Magaline Lamar is here. She's like number 1. We got Adrienne Marie. I'm so glad y'all still awake because I felt bad after how late the notes ran. Adrienne Marie hit the button at the same time. Auntie Eva is here. Hey, sis, thank you for being 3. Political Junkie is 2. Happy Sunday. My boo, Iron Butterflies in the house. She's number 4. The Lauren Brown is 6. Hey, Lulu's little girl. Thank you for being 8. All right. Nakia, thank you for being 10. You and Licious. Dom down. Where you been? You're new? If somebody got a name similar to yours, you're new. Listen, I need y'all to spam the chat with the word welcome. This beautiful lady is new. You are welcome, 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 welcome. I promise you, I don't normally have 12 pages of notes, but we're going to try to keep you entertained while we get through it. And thank you for being like number 12. And thank you for being here. Okay, welcome, Dom. Thank you, Lauren Brown, for being on top of it. Miss Weedy Pooh is 13. Priscilla Clemens, thank you for being like number 12. Sunshine, etc. is number 12. Sinclair Baptiste in the house at 16. Belize and JB coming in at 19. Linnell, how are you? Thank you for being 4. Cass, hey, boo. Thank you for being 20. Miss Nisi in the house. She's 25. We got my boo, Brandon Martin. Hey, Shug. Thank you for being 25. Okay. Everybody sitting to the left of K. Michelle got on his nerves, honey. Sasha Bunny, thank you for being 30. It was so much drama. It was very hard to keep up with. Legit. Ian Watson, thank you for being 31. Kat, what up, boo? Thank you for being 29. Happy Sunday. We got our girl Deborah Randall here. You know when she's in the house, Housewives Talk is legal because she keep it straight. What a night. Oh, Lord, what a night. Miss Sparkle is here, y'all, our resident Mary Kay lady and one of our illustrious moderators. She's reminding y'all to please hit your like button and your engagement button. Cousin Richard here, he number 35. Makeup addict, what's going down? Hit your like button. She said get Kelly off her screen. Special K is 36. So good to see y'all. Happy Sunday. Y'all get comfortable. I'm going to try to slide as quick as I can because we got a lot of ground to cover tonight. But it's not because I don't love y'all. Please know that. Hyper, thank you for being 41. Texas Passion, 43. My favorite nephew is 41. Weekend was good, but this was a mess. It sure was, baby. It was off the wane. It was off glass. Miss Lovely T is 44. D Wonderful D Amazing DS is here running the Reflection Corner at 45. J is a Gym Mate is 44. Thank you. Kashana, thank you for being 47. Catherine, thank you for being 47. Lyrics Mom, thank you for being 47. All y'all hit it at the same time. Even Arturo. We got Yvette, our Birmingham beauty, all the way from Birmingham, UK, in the house. Hey, boo, how's our babies doing over there? Delicia Dismuke is here, and she's 48. Yvette is 48. Y'all tuck in, get comfortable. Listen, ladies, if y'all are members of the royal family, you got a crown by your name. I need y'all to help your moderators tonight. Make sure everybody is comfortable and everybody, feels welcome in here. Lady Rowe, thank you for being 62. 66. Seattle is 49. Symmetry is 63. So is Diva2. All right. We got Satra Del Rey. Hey, how you doing? I'm so glad you back. I be struggling trying to make sure I get your name right. I don't ever want to mess up. Vicky, what up, Vicky Black? Thank you for being 44. All right. JV from around the way. I love your name. Welcome. If this is your first time hanging with us, everybody, please put FTL for first time live in the chat. Thank you for being 65. Hey, Mari, how you doing, beautiful? I'm so glad you made it. Happy Sunday. Chiquita, that's my girl. How you doing? Hey, Fatima. What up, sis? Happy Sunday. Y'all send up them bubbles. Put your like number in the chat. AP, what's happening? Y'all hit the like button. Creepy, thank you for being 75. What up, Passion? Listen, y'all, please don't make me beg for the likes. I'm appreciative. Y'all see, I thank y'all individually for y'all likes. Please hit it. Hey, Passion. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you for being 47. All the way from Los Angeles, California. Oh, man, I'm giving you a spoiler. Hey, Hood Star. I don't mean to, but I try to come on after the show because, see, the rest of us done watched it. And so, we be ready to talk about what we seen. And I've, I always feel bad about the West Coast because y'all watch it later. DV, thank you for being 78. Vintage, what up, Vintage? Baby, that is a research paper. It feel like one. It legit feel like a research paper. My knuckles is burning. Hey, Chandela, thank you for being 78. You dropped a photo in Discord with Portia addressing the Shamia thing. Listen, TT gonna need some ice for her wrist. I'm gonna need it. CC, hey boo, thank you for being 91. Happy 60-month anniversary, Queen of Hearts KS, and thank you for being 94. Brooklyn Queen for you, thank you. Kimberly Day, thank you. My beautiful niece, Couture Bay, thank you. If y'all not following Couture Bay, make sure that you are. Okay, Brittany Janae is here. Hey, beautiful. Part 2 put you in a whirlwind. You needed a drink, huh? I believe it. Shine bright. Thank you for being 104. Hey, D, 101. Thank you, one, for being 102. And McKinney's 103. Brian in the house. What up, Brian? That's my boo. Thank you for being 104. My baby is here. Peanut is 112. Look, listen. I'm going to go and just get into these notes real quick. Wait. I can't just get into them real quick. Iron Butterfly sent me a cash app. Let me send a heart back. This is my first support of the whole night. And I feel this one in my soul because I worked so hard tonight. I feel like I clocked in somewhere and I still ain't clocked out. I don't even know whether I'm working the night shift, whether it's the swing shift. I'm going to say in advance, Honey Dip, how you doing? I'm going to try to catch some people when I see them. Thank you for being 119. You got your Hawaiian rolls and Publix chicken. That sound like a feast. It do. Anybody that I miss, please charge it to my head and the clock and not my heart. Y'all know I love you. Georgia Peach, what's cracking? Delicious. Angie girl, man, we got all the family here tonight. I appreciate y'all. I promise you I appreciate y'all. After all the work I just did. I just went through it. Lee, where you been? It's been so long. Oh, man. Kenyatta Craig, how you doing? Welcome. Is this your first time? I know a few Kenyatas. You ain't from Ocala, is you? Hey, Cherry Scott. Thank you for being 133. Anybody who is here with us for the first time, real quick again, please put FTL in the chat for first time live. We about to get into this thing. Hold on real quick. Let me grab my gummies because I need something for my nerves. Y'all okay with that? It's not the dope kind. It's just the kind Sour Patch, I promise. Okay? 1 second. Let me grab them and we're going to get crunk. We're going to get this thing crunk. Okay? Hold on. Okay. All right. I'm back. Okay. I'm ready for anything now. I got my Sour Patch Watermelon. I think these are some of the ones I got from Iron Butterfly. Miss Sparkle sent me some grape Sour Patch Kids, which are like my favorite in the whole world. So shout out to my sisters who keep me in Sour Patch too. Okay. So look, mods, y'all keep a lock on the likes for me. Keep reminding them, keep running it through the chat. I know we be clowning, but y'all, kind of every now and then peep over and check the numbers. Okay. Whew. Let me lock in, get my energy right, plug my laptop in, stop my bra strap from sliding. Because I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so part 2 of the reunion. This Rachel A season 18. The season was better than last year. The season was for sure better than last year. But baby, this reunion has put the entire season to shame. I think that's a fair statement, and I'm gonna stick beside it. That's right. Thank you, Iron Butterfly, for supporting us. I appreciate you. Hey, Kia Mia. I'm glad you back, babe. I'm glad you back. Hey, Pauletta. So listen, we start back. These heifers did not, when I say they did not build up, it wasn't no type of build up. It wasn't no type of nothing. When we knew anything, it was going down. Like they jumped dead in. Thank you for the super chat, Deborah Randall. Man, I appreciate you for saying thank you because I be working. Say New Orleans, sis, second time and locked in. All right. I always say Louisiana is Florida's cousins. Y'all our first cousins. Hey, Nico. Listen, Lady Rowe talking about it's pitiful. It's all over the place. Girl, this the best reunion they done had in years. This the best one they done had in years. So much mess done came out. Baby, the mess came out like these heifers took a laxative. The mess started coming out like they done ate stewed prunes. Like they ate stewed prunes. Or like they went and got some Correctol or citrate of magnesia. And all like that there. I mean, all the mess just come running out, just run. Like they took laxatives and chased it with a Canada Dry ginger ale. And some of my cousins are Seagram's ginger ale. Everybody got their picks. But for Black people, ginger ale is medicine. So we started, it seemed like it was going to be harmless, and then it wasn't real fast, right? And it was talking about Phaedra's first reunion and what dress she came in. Honey dip, tell them again. Them heifers came in barefooted, ready to tussle. Sure was. Baby, they came in off the wing. I'm talking about off the pure wing. No holes barred. I mean, they went in. So she talking about the dress, and Cynthia came out with her cape, and I was like, and I'm like, okay, I can keep up with this, which is why I didn't even stop my skincare. I'm like, I got time to use my alpha hydroxy, and I'm gonna do my thing, and I got my wand. Babe, I had to put that wand down so goddamn quick. So Andy called Cynthia America's friend. And Cynthia was like, child, did I miss a lot? So Andy hit her with the recap. He said, K. Michelle is a gay man. Drew is officially divorced, and Portia and Phaedra done dated the same man. So then Cynthia like, ooh, child, what else going on? So then Andy was like, let's talk. He said we ended last time on a real interesting note, was with the viewer question. Not viewer question, the question from Drew, because remember they had the right questions to each other this reunion. Y'all gonna hear some paper. I gotta open up my things now. I ain't doing nothing funny over here, but I gotta open up these Sour Patches. I need to get some scissors. That ain't gonna work. But so he said Drew had submitted her question to Shamia and asked her, well, what was the purpose of you telling K. Michelle that your friends ain't want you to be her friend? But you was her friend anyway. What was the reason for that? Right? So then Shamia jumped in. Well, I just want to make it clear. It wasn't about any of the girls in this group. Hey, nice to meet. Hey, Cosmic Queen. And so Shamia said, no, it wasn't about the girls in the group. It was about your other friends. And you said your other friends was upset. I mean, they got it popping quick. She say, your other friends was upset. And Shamia said, yeah, my other friends. Now this part I can't vouch for because the audio was too garbled. And then like on the screen, it made it look like Shamia said, yeah, my other friends were trashed. But I don't think that's what she said. Now, either she said my other friends were trashing you, or my other friends said you was trash. But the caption that they put up, I don't think that's exactly what that girl said. I don't believe that. Angie girl sent me a cash app. Let me send a heart back. Thank you. Y'all gonna make me cry. Because like I literally worked until I hurt tonight. My hand is still hurting. Even after I switched to type in my wrist, so I need a brace. But so whatever she said about either they was trashing you, or they said you was trash, I can't vouch for it. I'm not gonna say that lady said one thing or the other because I don't know for sure. I gotta listen back to it tomorrow when I got more time to slow things down. Okay, so then she said, so that's why when it was brought up by Pinky, I was like, that ain't got nothing to do with this group. See, Seanitra say she couldn't make out that comment either. It was too hard to make out. And unlike Shamia, I'm not just gonna pretend I know what you said when I don't, and I'm definitely not gonna say you said something when you didn't say it. So I don't know what she said until I can go back and review it. I can't call it. Honey Dip say she heard my other friends called you trash. I could believe that she said that too. Because that's before I looked and saw their caption, that's what I thought I heard. But when I saw their caption, it looked different. So I'm just like, I don't know. I got to go back and listen. Y'all weigh in the chat. Tell me what y'all think Shamia said at that juncture, right? So Portia was like, she jumped in. And I'm like, well, come on. Because the other cows jump in anytime they get ready. Angela and Drew jump in when they get ready. Come on. Don't just sit over there looking like a, Decatur Barbie in a green dress. Come on with it. So Portia jumped in and she said, well, actually, I think it do have something to do with the group. Because she said it sounded a little manipulative. Okay. She said that, the conversation or the subject matter, I'm paraphrasing now. She said, because it touched on something that had previously, hey Latrice, that had previously hurt you and about people who had previously hurt you, i.e. Rashida going around telling people that K. Michelle never got abused by Memphis when she actually did. You know what I'm saying? For it to come out that it was true. And then Rashida got bags, never even apologized for that. So I got what she was saying there. And then she went further. It was kind of like, Effie White on Dreamgirls. Oh, I can go further. Oh, she went further. She said it's actually, it feels like manipulation and isolation. I say, wait a minute. Portia been doing her vocabulary words. She, not saying that the girl don't know no words over 4 or 5 letters, but I'm just saying like she's articulating things better. Like she done been to the library because she articulating. She ain't wrong. And K. Michelle was over there nodding like, yeah, that's exactly what the hell it is. Because see, this is the thing. I feel like this, just my opinion. Nobody said it. Shamia was counting on the mental instability of K. Michelle, not realizing sometimes the people that you feel like is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, they kind of crazy because they can't express things the way they need to. It's not because they don't understand things that's happening around them. And they may not catch on immediately, but when they do, they're going to feel away. Okay? So then Shamia interrupts and was like, well, you don't know what was said. And so Portia was like, well, I'm going to finish my sentence. Like she didn't give no type of heated nothing to Shamia. So at this point, y'all, that was foreshadowing. We on to the type copy, to the type pages now, y'all. Okay. So she said, I'm going to finish my sentence. And then she said, but that's a way, what happened, that's a way to buy loyalty. And she said, and you already said, basically telling K. Michelle, and you had already told me how you was feeling guarded and whatever. And then people saying stuff like that. Right. So then Shamia was like, but this wasn't before she got with everybody. This wasn't before she got with everybody. So I guess she felt like maybe Portia was saying that's why K. Michelle felt guarded. But that ain't what she was saying. She was saying the girl already felt guarded. Then by you saying what you said, that furthered it. Okay. And I do not for 1 minute feel like K. Michelle shared that with Portia and didn't share that with Shamia. I think Shamia knew very well how K. Michelle was walking into that group already feeling with her paranoia on 1000. And then I think she kind of played with it a little bit. Hey, actual treasure, how you doing, beauty? Yvette say, Portia is getting into her housewives role. Sure is. Baby, she digging in the bag. I don't know what's going on, but she sure digging in that mug. And so Shamia was like, that's before she got with everybody. And Kay said, this is why we got into it. So my ears perked up, they, flared out. I said, wait a minute, that's why y'all got into it. So I'm thinking, so this must be what Kay Michelle was talking about with the Waldorf, to the hotel, because I was thinking maybe they was at the Waldorf in New York, but y'all told me it's also a Waldorf in Atlanta, which I don't remember that, but give me $1 for everything I don't remember, right? So when Kay said that's why we got into it, she said, you keep saying that you just said it that day. You were consistently saying that to me throughout our friendship. Kept asking me be loyal to you in this friend group. And so Shamia was like, I definitely asked you to be loyal to me. And Portia said, that's the beginning of starting an alliance. I said, ooh. I said, oh, we got one. I said, boy, Portia must be taking the same thing I'm taking, to clear out my cobwebs and my brain fog. I'm like, boy, Portia over there firing on all cylinders. Because I say, yeah, that is the beginnings of an alliance. Mm-hmm. I say, goddamn. Shamia, you doing this again? This season? And you admitting to it again? Remember, she admitted to it last season and then tried to clean it up like, Portia, we wanted you to be in it too. Anyway, so then, after she said that, Kay was explaining what was said, and Shamia started talking over her. And I'm like, why you don't ever want to let people talk when they saying what you did or said or what happened between you and them? So Shamia started trying to talk over Kay when Kay started talking. Okay, I got all them notes in there. See, typing, I might switch to typing, going forward. At the same time, Portia, that was at the same time when Portia was saying that's the start of an alliance. So Kay said, I didn't try to be your friend first. You tried to be my friend. I say, woo, bits and pieces. Y'all better come on, put the pieces to the puzzle together. So Shamia was like, what you mean you wasn't trying to be my friend? What the hell? She said, hey, Red. She said, I wasn't trying to be your friend first. You was trying to be my friend. So now I'm sitting here like, some of this making sense. So now I could see why K. Michelle was responding the way she was when it came to Shamia making that statement, my friends don't want me to be friends with you. Because if your friends didn't want you to be friends with me, why did you even approach me if you was the one that approached me for friendship first? Because that's what K. Michelle said, and I quote, I wasn't trying to be friends with you first. You tried to be mine. That's what she said. Then after Shamia said, what you mean? Andy switched to to the direct question. And he said, well, what happened when the cameras were, off camera? Because y'all mentioned something happened off camera and they flashed back to last week's episode, which was, in real time, just a few minutes earlier, where they was like, what happened off camera? And Kay said, told Shamia to tell it, right? So Kay Michelle said, well, she looked in my face before I could even drink 2 cups of whiskey. I was halfway through a cup. And he said, when was this? They said it was about a week ago. And mind you, a week before the reunion. And bringing up things to see, how I was going to answer, or if I was going to change my mind or about something I said, or if I was going to say something crazy. And so Portia was like, oh, you mean like how a lawyer do, before they take you to court to prep you for court? I said, ooh, it's getting hot in here. And it ain't my menopause. I said, what is going on? So after she said that, Shamia was like, I'm just glad Kelly was there. I'm glad it was a witness because that's not what happened. And I'm sitting there like, girl, Kelly saying amen don't mean that ain't what happened. Her mouth ain't no prayer book. So and it was like, well, Kelly, tell us what happened. I don't want to be in the middle. They say, well, you actually are literally in the middle. Talk about it. So she said, well, we all met up and we had dinner. And so Drew said, oh, to talk about the reunion? She said, no, we did not talk about the reunion. I hadn't seen Kay in I don't know how long because she was on tour and she had been touring and we had a beautiful dinner. And then she got real vague. I say not foghorn, leghorn getting vague. Any other time you can't shut this hoe up. Now she's sitting up in there talking about, well, you know, they both said things that you know, that shouldn't have been said, and I'm sure they regret. Seanitra, thank you for the super chat. Say Kelly fighting Shamia battles, but quiet about Kay. Shamia lying. Show is. Okay. Say Kelly will agree with her landlord. Wouldn't you? If you got free rent? Hey, Birkin girl, you just got here. I'm so glad. Pink Pilates Princess, thank you for being 157. Y'all hit the like button. I know good and hell well y'all ain't sitting up in here and got almost 100 people ain't hit the like button. Not with 12 pages of type notes. I know that ain't the case. Is that what y'all doing? Moderators, check my likes. Because I'm trying to get through these notes. I don't work my butt off. Shout out to the people who supported the stream. But I need y'all to hit that like button. Antoinette, thank you for being 160. That's literally 98 people that ain't hit that like button. Y'all know that's criminal. No, it's coming up. Y'all need to get it up a little bit more. We ain't got time to do no Turkish lesson tonight. Okay? So, Kelly got vague. She talking low. She got vague. Hey, oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. And she in Mykonos. You be safe while you traveling. Your mama told you to tune in. Tell mama I said, hey, y'all tell the Birkin V. You know, I can't call you that. My Birkin doll. Tell her happy birthday. Okay. Now who this is here? KS Sincerity says, if you think back to when they was on the bus with K Michelle was hanging out with Portia and them, then Shamia heard in 43 something about her bad experience. You might have to retype it, baby. So listen, Kelly got vague. They both said things. They both did things. Mind you now, when Kelly being vague with this vague recap of what happened, we may as well not even ask her because Kelly ain't gave us nothing. She said they both said things, both did things. Then when Shamia went to talking, it was all K Michelle doing something to her. She ain't did nothing. I said, interesting, right? So anyway, Kelly gave us the vague. They both said things. They both did things. And then she said things occurred. I'm like, so you can't pronounce occurred and you sniggling because Portia mispronounced reiterate. I said, wow, isn't that special? But occurred was beating your tail. Got it. So Kay said, yeah, after she was looking me dead in my face and lying. And so then Andy Cohen asked the question that I wanted to know. What the hell was she up there lying about? So Andy said, was she lying about? And Kay said stuff about the stuff that she was saying to me about her other friends, about her telling me that they don't want me to be her friend. And Kay said that she was sitting there in my face telling me, I never told you that. I told you that only one time. And then she said that she wanted to talk about her mama in the club. And you said my mama had this on and she didn't have that on. And she said that I was holding my ground. And she was sitting up there straight face, just lying. And we done seen Shamia do that. She be dead wrong, lying through her teeth. And she with a straight face. Yes, you did. So Kay said she was sitting in her face. Mind you, for the record, you can't do that with crazy people. Now, sometimes crazy people be crazy, but when they having a lucid moment and you know they got 3-4 screws that might be loose and 2 or 3 that might be missing, and you sitting in their face playing, I never said that to you. Them crazy people will be done snapped and hooked, smashed you, right? So that's what she said the girl was doing, sitting up with a straight face, telling her, I only said that one time. I never said that to you. I only said that one time, right? I say, okay, fine. Angie girl say, who mama go to the club? Not mine. Lord rest her soul, but my mama didn't do that. So I can't speak on that. And she said that, she said, and when she did that, just lying in my face with a straight face, hey, Danya, say, I slapped the table. She said, I slapped the table and was like, you gonna, she said, you gonna stop all that lying up in here, you know. And I believe it because we know K. Michelle will slap a table, shake a table. She'll do all that foolishness, all the shenanigans, right? And she said, then Shamia gonna say, you gonna hop up on me? And then she said, then Kelly gonna say, we sisters. I believe K. Michelle, because K. Michelle was giving us the blow by blow. She didn't do the vagaries like Kelly. They both said things. They both did things. No, K. Michelle said, I hit the table, and I said, you gonna stop all that lying in my face. And Kelly said, we sisters. And I said, I hop up on my real sisters. I believe she said it. You ain't just pull it out the air. That's what she said. And mind you, pay attention. When K. Michelle told the story, she told what I said, what I did, what you said, what you did. When Shamia told the story, she ain't did nothing. K. Michelle just crazy. K. Michelle just crazy. Arturo say lying is a huge trigger for me, so I can imagine. Everybody can't take that. Now you sit up and lie to my face, I'm just gonna walk away from you and probably never speak to you again. More than likely. But some people is like Arturo and K. Michelle, they will get active on you by that just playing in their face line, because some people take that as like you playing with my intelligence or you acting like I don't have good sense. And we both know I got sense. You know, everybody don't take that well. You know what I'm saying? So then Shamia decides she gonna talk about what happened. She gonna demonstrate and all that. And so Shamia said, you did hop up on me and was in my face, and you was hitting she said punching your fist, but I'm assuming she meant hitting your hand with your fist, because that's what she demonstrated. And was like, I beat your A. Then she got up to demonstrate. She said it first, and she got up to demonstrate. And then, but she kind of aimed it at Kelly to show, you know, what she claimed happened. And Kelly was like, why you doing that to me? Probably because she was scared to do that at K. Michelle, because, you know, who one flew over the cuckoo's nest, right? And so she said, then she put her finger up at me, and she was demonstrating that. And Shamia said she watched the episode. She said basically she watched the episode where K. Michelle was telling Pinky about her mama having her in the club and her being in the confessional saying her titties was pushed up. And I believe on that too. Just because your mama had a blazer on don't mean them titties wasn't pushed up. And one picture does not exonerate none of that. I don't believe that lady pulled that out of thin air. I don't know too many people who sit up and fantasize about grandma's cleavage. If she mentioned grandma's cleavage, she's seen it somewhere. Okay, now could she have exaggerated? Yes. I don't know whether she did or did not. I'm willing to concede that possibly she exaggerated. But you're not going to tell me that your mama was up there with her usher board number 2 uniform on, button up to her epiglottis, and this girl just, you know, conjured up and fantasized and imagined and hallucinated your grandmama cleavage up there. That ain't happened, okay? So yeah. So she said she saw that and that upset her, and she was showing her the video like, see, the video is at 11:59. We didn't get there at no 2 a.m. When Shamia told the story, not Shamia, when K. Michelle told the story to Pinky during the season, I don't remember her saying that they got there at 2 a.m. I remember her saying they was in the club at 2 a.m., but I don't remember. I don't remember her saying y'all just got there at 2. Honey Dip said, did you see how Shamia tried to slick talk like K. Michelle, but it didn't land like Portia? Yep. Bree said, what's wrong with pushed up tatas? Nothing. Shamia's so dramatic. Yes. Now I'm gonna tell y'all what Shamia be doing, and a lot of times y'all don't catch it. Okay. Y'all don't catch it. Anytime Shamia caught dead the rights, I want y'all to put a pin in this because she's going to do it again because that's her MO, right? The usher board is not catching strays. Shout out to all the ladies on usher board number 1 and number 2. Shout out to y'all with y'all orthopedic shoes with them white gloves and them shiny pins that say usher across the front. And a double shout out to my OG usher board ladies that keep napkins in case children get caught with chewing gum. Keep a couple pieces of peppermint. And keep switches in case some children acting up in church and somebody need to take a trip to the bathroom. Shout out to all my girls, all my OG girls on the usher board, okay? Because I love y'all, and we could not worship the Lord like we need to without you, okay? Now back to the story. Anytime she get caught dead to rights, Shamia will try to focus on a minuscule detail of what you said that she can dispute. Whatever she can dispute, that's what she focus on, right? It's kind of like, Shamia, you lying. You did go down this street and fight 2 jaguars and pull Sharkeisha drawstring ponytail and run back to the house. If it's true and she really did it, Shamia gonna be like, but you said I had on pink sneakers and I really had on blue, and I can prove I had on blue and not pink. She ain't gonna address nothing else that you caught her at. She gonna focus on that one minuscule detail that she can argue over. I don't like stuff like that, but that's what she do. And when she started making it all about Miss Sarah outfit and what time exactly, the exact time, I said, yeah, you and Miss Sarah did that mess. Lying like a man. That's normally how men lie, but Shamia doing it and she a woman, it hit different. You know, it's a little icky. I'm gonna be honest. So anyway, meanwhile, she, and I did put this in the notes. That's kind of like a gaslight, and y'all know I don't know about the gaslight, so y'all educating me, okay? Right. Dawn Down said, yep, when Portia said she lied, Shamia tried to talk slow and meter. Lying. But I put in my notes, and I want y'all to catch this hard. Now, Shamia openly expressed, which is her right to express, because that Miss Sarah is her mama, okay? And we can crack jokes or whatever. We talk about what we seen her do or whatever like that, but that's still an old lady, so you know we got to kind of watch how we talk about that old lady. But Shamia openly admits, I watched the episode and I was mad about what you said, about what I saw you said. Meanwhile, this the same Shamia keep trying to convince us that somehow Portia did something to her wrong because she watched the episode last season where Shamia sat down in front of a camera with Cynthia, insinuating that her mama had done that Miss Diane had done something to her mama, and she responded on social media. So Shamia, you can watch an episode, get mad about what's said about your mama and have a reaction. But if Portia watch an episode just like you did and watch somebody say something slick about her mama just like you did and then have a reaction just like you did, how's different when she do it? I'm just asking. Hey, Leah Aries, thank you for being too. Well, what's your like number? That's when you roll in. Okay. So then back to the notes. So K Michelle was like 185. Thank you for being 185, boo. And so K Michelle was like, but your mama really did say what she was about to say whatever, but she got cut off because Shamia started talking over her real loud, which is another one of her tactics. When she get caught, Shamia started trying to talk over you real bad. So Shamia was like, let me finish. I showed her the video and said, K said, K, this say 11:59. We didn't come to the club at 2 a.m. Mind you, she want to argue and haggle over minuscule details that don't have nothing to do with the story at hand, right? And so K Michelle wasn't finna let you yell over her. Hey, Evolution. So K Michelle says, after to let me finish, she said, either way, that's when she said, either way, my mama wasn't in no hookah lounge dancing around saying hallelujah and calling her a Jezebel in the middle of the club. Matter of fact, she said in a hookah lounge dancing around in a white suit saying hallelujah and calling her Jezebel. Pointed over there to Portia. And she said in the middle of the club. Portia said, calling who a Jezebel? Did I think, not Portia, Phaedra, Cynthia, somebody, a few of them said, calling who a Jezebel? Hell, even Andy, after he was gagged, even Andy was like, calling who a Jezebel? I said, not Andy trying to get in on the Soul Sister stuff. I'm like, Andy, you just the host. You stay over there on the sideline, okay? So Andy said, calling who a Jezebel? And so Portia was like, your mama called me a Jezebel. Shamia said, no, she did not. Portia sat there for a minute like she was sitting on it, hitting the buttons on a microwave or something. She said, your mama's a Jezebel. I said, Jesus Christ. At that point, y'all, those of y'all who got a stiff drink in your hand, that's how I felt. I couldn't even stop taking notes to pour myself a drink, but I needed one at that point. Portia said, your mama's a Jezebel. I said, great googler muggler. What's going on? So Shamia said, so you believe her? Why not? Right? And then, because I think Shamia count on people just not believing the stuff that they be doing. Like, we could do all this stuff and play naive and sweet and hallelujah, praise the Lord, we so sanctified. And then if anybody ever tell what we did, how dare you believe it, right? So K. Michelle said, I'm really not lying. And you know I'm not lying. And I said, ooh, woo. Portia said, you was talking about me with her. Don't be talking about me when you're with her, okay? And Shamia said, my mama never called you a Jezebel. Like she was hoping K. Michelle was going to fade to the background. I'm like, have you met K. Michelle? K. Michelle said, yes, she did. And she said, just like her mama, and you not going to make me look crazy when I done had your back. So it's almost like K. Michelle felt like whatever come out the closet, you know, if you make me tell something, don't sit up and sit in my face and pretend like I ain't said, like you ain't said what you said when you said it when we was talking and you was saying and you said it to me, right? So I'm sitting there like, this getting deep. And Shamia said, but you immediately believed her. So at this point, Shamia trying to ignore K. Michelle. She want to go back and forth with Portia, and Portia ain't having it, honey. And I said, that's strange. Y'all done had the mama hoe off in Scotland, which is deep. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had a mama hoe off with none of my ex-friends. You know what I'm saying? I done fell out with some people on some deep stuff, but we ain't never had no mama hoe off in another country. That's next level, right? Well, they had the mama hoe off. I'm like, Shamia, why would you be so invested in trying to argue this point with Portia? Why would you care whether Portia believed it or not? And I said, oh, I know why. Because it's easier to argue with Portia where you know it's a brick wall than to address Kimberly Michelle, who is airing you out. And I told y'all during the season, put a 2 in the chat if y'all remember me telling y'all that K. Michelle was going to be the one to air her out. She was counting on K. Michelle being mentally unstable, but her mental instability is the exact reason why she was going to be the one to air you out. So anyway, she's trying to ignore K. Michelle when K was like, no, she said it. You said like her mama. And, you know, whatever. So she's like, again, Shamia trying to argue with Portia. You immediately believed her. She don't owe you nothing. Y'all not friends no more. Y'all had a mama hoe off. You call her mama a hoe. She called your mama a big nasty hoe that went with her husband brother. Like y'all had a whole hoe off. Why you talking about like you can't believe she believed her? She don't owe you nothing no more. You tried to sneak and get access to her kid. That lady don't owe you nothing, Shamia. You went too far, mama. Okay? So after that, Portia's sitting there looking calculated, calm, and like she's enjoying the pandemonium. So Portia said, she's told me many things that you've said with your mother. I said, whoa. Portia letting her know, girl, I done heard a whole lot of stuff that you and your mama done had to say about me. She done told me many things that you said to your mama. I said, hey, don't you make Portia get to talking. So I'm sitting here like, man, Portia, what else the hell you know? At this point, y'all don't like each other. Bring out the bazookas, the ARs, you know, the rocket launchers, the RPGs. Bring everything out. Ain't no need to hold them back. Come on, because we here for the mess at this point. So when she said, she's told me many things that you said to your mother, Shamia then finally addresses K. Michelle because she was trying to ignore K. Michelle. She wanted what K. Michelle was saying to fade into the background, and she wanted nobody to pay attention. Finally addressed K. Michelle and started screaming, you said you're not gonna make me look crazy like these other bees be making me look crazy. I don't believe K. Michelle said it like that. Do I believe she got loud and yelled? Yes. Do I believe she screamed? Yes. Do I believe she told her you ain't finna make me look crazy? Yes. But I don't believe she said it like that. I believe it was a lot of other creative cussing involved. Kay said, yeah, because you was lying. And so then Kay says again, she said then her mama FaceTimed her daddy in the club. I said, well, I be. Everybody on the other couch, they ass got big too. Like, I be dang. She FaceTimed her daddy in the club. The mama FaceTimed the daddy in the club. Because they was trying to really make her believe that Diane wanted a retired toothless truck driver. I said, have mercy, God, today. This is getting heavy. Y'all was trying to sell this story to K. Michelle so good. You had your mama FaceTime your daddy in a club, Lord. Mm-hmm. That's a mess. So everybody looking crazy at that point, including me. I was looking crazy too. Shamia was like trying to interrupt her and everything, and like, yeah, go ahead and make it up. Because Kay was like, look, I'm not making it up. She said, I'm not making it up, because if I was making it up, how I know about the pipe? And so Portia said, what pipe? And at that point, Shamia couldn't even get her next line. She started stuttering. K. Michelle said, she said that your mama called your daddy and asked him to fix a pipe at her house. Hey, you tried it. And so Portia said, Shamia was like, I don't even know what she's talking about. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Hey, Cammy. And so Portia said, her mama a GD lie. Here goes Shamia, your mama a GD lie. Girl, her mama ain't said that your mama called nobody to fix no pipe. Your mama the one is in the club telling stories, calling on FaceTime. That was your mama. So for Shamia's rebuttal to be your mama a lie, well, what the hell is Diane lying about? Give it to us. Because see, K. Michelle just told us what your mama said that Portia saying is a lie. See, when you have a comeback, Shamia, you got to come back with something relevant. You can't say, if I'm arguing with an Asian lady and I say, you little Asian heifer, and she say, you a little Asian heifer, she gonna look crazy because I'm a big old black woman. See, that's something different. That's how it kind of land when Shamia put that, your mama GD lie. Okay. So then Andy was like, let's leave the mamas out of it. Portia said, I would like that. And Shamil was like, that would be amazing. I bet it would be amazing to you because your mama a little messy. Miss Sarah a little messy. So Andy said, well, where y'all at now? Talking about Kay and Shamil. So Kay said, well, look, I had her back all season. Shamil was like, I did too. Did you though? She said, and I'm gonna continue to be around her, whatever, but basically I don't trust her. So Shamia's like, same. I can't trust her either because she'll try to fight me if I say something that she don't agree with. Ain't no black woman ever said you don't trust somebody because she get active. You saying that because she telling you she don't trust you. Because at the end of the day, you can't say that K. Michelle was sitting in your face line, but she telling you to your face that you sat up in her face line. And we done seen you do it, Shamia. So it ain't like it ain't possible, mama. We done seen you do it. Okay? And Brian, I agree. They don't be thinking. Kelly and Shamia is the no-brain crew. Baby is bad. Hey, Duhart, thank you for being 200. Not like number 200 and we on 315. Y'all get my likes right because we got to get through. At this point, how many we got left? Like 9 more pages of notes. Well, 10 basically. So listen. So then after that, then Kelly jumps in. She was like, I just hate to see y'all going back and forth. And then she started talking about don't let the noise from the other couch get in between and pour in into what y'all poured into this relationship. The other ladies went off and shut that down. Drew said ain't no accountability. Portia talking about shut up with the noise from the couch because them people ain't had nothing to do with that. And I'm glad K. Michelle shut it down. K. Michelle said that ain't had nothing to do with these ladies. Why me and Shamia got into it, they were not present when we got into it. It was us. And I'm like, Kelly, you know, you don't just look stupid. You are stupid, huh, sugar? If they had an argument, they literally did this whole segment, this whole segment, whatever you want to call it, talking about something that happened off camera at the Waldorf in Atlanta. Where y'all say it? Buckhead. Them women wasn't there. The conversation wasn't about them. Per Shamia, the statements that were made were about her other friend group with Candy, Rashida, and Toya Johnson. So what the hell does it have to do with them ladies on that other couch? Talking about don't let the noise from the other couch. In other words, you sitting up here with your hobbit babble trying to convince K. Michelle, please stay a part of our alliance because we really don't have nobody. Stop it, I say. So anyway, and it was like, Kelly, just address Shamia and K. Michelle and leave the other couch out of it. And that's when Kay would shut it down. And so then Kelly's sitting there sniggling under her breath. It ain't fraud though. And Angela said, well, where do you live, Kelly? Are you homeless? Are you frying chicken out of Shamia's house? I said, okay, this is going to an unpleasant place, but it's been unpleasant between them two for a long time. So I said, all right. And Kelly said, that's all you got is Shamia's house. And Angela said, well, that's a lot. That's a lot. And proceeded to say, and you're about to lose your restaurant, the one that Drew didn't visit. I said, hey, and she repeated that, the one Drew didn't visit. So I say, when Angela really feel like she got your dirt, she repeated twice. She repeated twice to make sure everybody heard it. See, Angela's calculated too. She gonna make sure y'all heard that. It ain't finna be no, oh, Angela said it and we didn't catch it. We'll catch it 2-3 years later. Angela gonna repeat it. So I'm sitting there, I'm locked in. You finna lose the other restaurant too? Like, what the hell? So Kelly said, where you heard that at? Angela say, the court. I said, it's at the courthouse. Angela done got your particulars. Y'all done said the lady being Inspector Gadget. Now I guess she embracing it. She embracing the Inspector Gadget of it all. She embracing the private detective agency of it all. She said the court. So Kelly said, well, can you even open a business? Do you have a business? Angela said multiple. And I'm looking at Kelly like, are you dumb, slow, or stupid? You know that lady has a business, multiple. Why would you ask a business owner, does she have a business? Like, how stupid are you, Kelly? Like, at this point, I can't even discuss you in an unbiased way because the stupidity it's fragrant. It's got a stench. It's got a stench, right? So in any event, after she said that, she said multiple businesses. Kelly say, well, don't nobody on that couch got a brick and mortar. And Phaedra was like, oh, I know you lying. She just say stupid stuff. Apparently a law firm is not brick and mortar. Apparently, you know, people who actually have businesses, they don't exist. They don't exist at all because Kelly's failing. So now nothing exists because Kelly's failing. After that, and Portia was like, child, millions online. And I'm sitting there like, baby, if brick and mortar is your claim to fame and somebody else making millions, you know, online, I feel like you should get online. She all three. Thank you for the super chat, Brian. Thank you for the clarity too. Brian say she all three. Sean say, I would not want to be on Angela's bad side. Magnum PI, Angela will dig up your dirt and throw it in your face. And will. Sinclair say, Kelly's both. Listen, and thank you so much, Brian, for supporting the porch, okay? So listen. After that, Andy's yelling, stop. He's trying to stop him. So then after the break, okay? After the pain, after the break, they come back. Andy was like, well, how's things going on with, they talking, you know, the Cynthia and all of that, right? What's going on in the wedding bells with you and Prince? She said, absolutely not. You know, she had said that in the interview. Cynthia ain't trying to get married no more. She done it. And they mentioned the EDM music. Cynthia done did an EDM cut. I think I remember hearing the music during the season, but I didn't know who it was. But now that you mention it, it do kind of sound like Cynthia. And so she got her little song. They played her music or whatever. Everybody danced to it. It sounds pretty good for what it is. I do like a little, they say EDM, but basically some house music or, you know, electronic or house music. Definitely like a little oonce, boots and cats, whatever you call it. It was nice. So they danced to that. Then we get to the Panky segment where they talking about business bankruptcy, being vegan, the lies about the meat on Phaedra, and Kelly actually said it and all of that, right? So then Andy asked her about the bankruptcy. And Pinky was like, oh, it was embarrassing at first, and it was a tool, and she tried to do her little whole, hey, Brown Sugar, thank you for being 208. Hey, Divine Miss M. And so, hey, she said Kelly's wounds were self-inflicted. Yes, 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 yes. So look, she tried to do her little beauty pageant answer, what she done pre-recorded in her mind, what she done rehearsed to say, right? So then Phaedra was basically was like, it's interesting, it's interesting to hear you call it a tool, but it's a little disturbing because people like invested in you. You had Black Americans. She said African American, but y'all know I find that horribly offensive. So I'm just giving us our correct identifier. But she did say AA, but Black American people invested in your business, right? And they lost their money. Like $25 million was invested in your business and the money was lost. And Pinky was like, well, I had white ones too. She didn't say you had only Black American investors. She said you lost money for Black folk. That's what she said. Them Black people trusted you, gave you their money, you mismanaged, you didn't do what you were supposed to do, no matter how you slice it, and you lost them Black folk money. But for her to say I had white ones too, that does not negate the fact that Black people trusted you and gave you their money. That is a big deal, Miss Thing. That is a huge deal, Miss Thing. Okay. And so Phaedra said, yeah, but you had plenty of Black ones. Don't try to minimize them Black people's money. You didn't minimize their money when you was asking for it. You didn't minimize their money when you were depositing it. You were depositing the money into your account for your business. So don't try to minimize that Black dollar. Now that you got to, that anybody mentions that you lost them Black people money. See, Pinky Cole has been a very nasty little piece of work, especially in Atlanta, Georgia. During the pandemic, y'all may not know this, but Pinky Cole was up there calling the police on Black people who were vendors outside, who were not bothering her. Apparently, there were lines wrapped all down the street waiting to get up into the Slutty Vegan. And so there were Black American people out there, various vendors, bakers, and whatnot, and the like. Nobody was selling any of the things that she sold, but they were benefiting from the crowd that was drawn to her business that she was able to open with Black American dollars. But she called the police on them and calling white folk to get them ran from up there. See, this is Pinky Cole. Okay. So I'm glad that Phaedra called it out because it was long overdue. Long, long, long overdue. Hey, when in Rome. So she ain't like that. She said that when Phaedra said it was plenty of Black ones, instead of her, just saying, okay, well, that's true. Then she's like, well, it was more white than Black. And what does that have to do with any of the things that Phaedra's saying? Everything Phaedra said to you was the truth. You basically saying your Black dollar don't mean nothing to me. I just want to use you. Because after all, I'm not one of you. I just want to use you. See, Pinky been telling us all season she not one of us. Y'all got to catch it on there. Catch on up to what's happening. Satra says, I was there. Little Black boys were selling lemonade. Yep, and she called them people on them, didn't she? She went to the people to run them from up there, didn't he? That's what she did. Antoinette say Pinky is extremely arrogant and off-putting. I stand behind the fact that she looks like a... I'm not finna say that. I ain't finna do that. Okay. Arturo say Phaedra's connected into Atlanta civil government. Pinky better stop. Yes, she's definitely plugged in. Like, all jokes aside, all shade aside, all the aside, Phaedra is extremely plugged in. Super duper plugged in. Okay. So look. So after that, she was like, said what she said. And Phaedra was like, look, I get that, but I just don't take it lightly. I just don't take it lightly, that those people lost their money. So Pinky said, well, people don't know the real story because I'm a professional and I protected a lot of people. And I didn't say nothing, but that's none of your business. But that's not your business. And Phaedra said, I didn't ask. And she said, but you inserted yourself. So, okay. So Phaedra said, look, all you do is brag. And Pinky said, well, it could have happened to you. It could have happened to anybody. Phaedra said, no, it couldn't because I'm self-funded. I said, oh, it's getting hot in here. And it ain't menopause. I said, wait a minute. She said, I'm self-funded. Pinky said, let me teach you something about business. Phaedra said, oh, you don't need to teach me anything about business. I've been in business for 20 years, very successful. So she said, well, win more cases. Phaedra said, which ones did I lose? This heifer talking about Bobby Brown. Baby, if you got to dig that deep in the crates to find a case that she lost, shh, shh. So Phaedra said, well, let's call him. I was his lawyer for 8 years. If I was doing something wrong, I'm sure he could have replaced me. I said, come on, Phaedra. You better talk that educated, successful Black American soul sister talk. You better talk it. Talk it. I said, okay. So then Pink talking about what a restaurant business, you don't know. The restaurant business, don't pivot now. You was talking stuff about win more cases. Talk about it, sweetie. You over here selling processed fake meat sandwiches. This girl got a Juris Doctorate. I wouldn't be that loud. I wouldn't be. You sell sandwiches. Pinky, you sell sandwiches. Arguing with somebody with a whole Juris Doctorate about success. Now, if y'all was arguing about who had the best complexion, no girl, man, glow better. No girl, man, glow better. Fair conversation, right? If y'all talking about, because my foot look prettier in heels. No, my foot look prettier in heels. Yours look good in blocks, but mine look good in stilettos. Okay. Nah, girl, the way I got my wig laid is better than the way you got your wig laid. But you don't, I just feel like if you sell sandwiches, you don't hold conversations about success with somebody holding a whole Juris Doctorate, not to mention her other businesses. I'm just saying, I ain't no Phaedra fan, but we got to keep it funky, man. That ain't the conversation you have with somebody that has literally went and stenciled and tattooed success on their birth certificate. Don't do that. And Phaedra did say them radioactive burgers. She said it. So anyway, she pivoted back to the restaurant business, and restaurants don't stay in business for 3 years, and for me to do what I did in 8 years. And she went to bragging some more, and I've done this and I've done that. So I'm like, okay, right, dumb down. We do have to keep it real. We got to keep it real, okay? And so I'm just sitting there like, okay, we back to bragging. The girl just told you all you do is brag, and you're back bragging again. So then Phaedra said it again. All you do in this group is brag and try to give people ideas, right? And Pinky said, yes, I do. And Andy about the only one I ain't gave no idea and all of that. But Phaedra said, if you that braggadocious, then you need to pay your bills. Eek Barbadurko. Okay, shout out to Rick and Morty. And so Andy was like, well, it could be perceived. He's trying to, round it, bring it back in because it got a little wild. You got to bring it back in. So Andy said, well, it could be perceived that you were, being glib or flippant about bankruptcy, or like saying it's a tool or using it as a crutch. Yes, bragging and broke. Amen. Jay as the gym mate say, ooh, look at Karma. Pinky is a nasty piece of work. But remember, Pinky Caribbean think she better. Amen. That's exactly what's going on. And see, people don't like when those of us who are Black American call it out, but sometimes it just got to be called out. You can't come into our communities, make money off of our people, start your business with money that our people invest, file a bankruptcy, and then walk around bragging, talking crap like you better than the people whose community you've embedded yourself in. Like, please be responsible and be for real. Stop it, right? So then Pinky said, well, am I supposed to be sad? And basically said she's staying for the losers. She's staying for the people who done lost anything and got back up, and people gonna judge me, and that's okay. But the people that's done lost stuff, that they could be like, well, if Pinky could do it, I could do it, and all of that, right? So Angela said, I love that, and it sounds good, but it can come across hypocritical. So here she go. It can come across as whatever. People can't even have like a civil conversation with you because you're so defensive. Why so defensive, Stanky Panky? Stanky Panky, why are you so defensive? If it's so great and it's so wonderful, you're so secure and self-assured, and you're so, sure of yourself and proud of yourself. Why so defensive? Why so nasty, Stanky Panky? Why are you so nasty, Stanky Panky? Why so nasty? So look, after it could come across as whatever. So then Angela was like, look, if I lost investors' money, if people were hurt, and she's like, what people? She said, well, if people were hurt, like if I lost investors' money, it would, basically like that would bother me that my actions cause hurt to people. Pinky go naming out corporations. I think what she said, the Red Lobster and whoever else, right? I'm like, you naming corporations, you ain't no corporation. And right about the time when I'm saying, girl, them corporations don't go on reality shows and brag about losing them people's money. Like, are you well? Are you well? Right, Patrick. Patrick says she wasn't trying to make light of the bankruptcy, but she said it was a path people can go down. But she really did. Talking about the bankruptcy baddie. He said she wasn't trying to make light of it, but she did. That may not have been her intention. And then the fact that the people tried to give her grace and was saying, like, basically telling her, if you were not trying to make light of it, that's how it came across. It can come across whatever. No, boo, because that's how you meant for it to come across. Somebody who didn't intend to be received that way, being received that way, would have made it very clear. Let me make this very clear. That was never my intention. Your response ain't gonna be, it could come across whatever. That's why you look like that. God don't like ugly. He ain't crazy about pretty either. But I'm just saying, he don't like ugly. So anyway, she named a corporation. Angela was like, but you don't see them bragging about it. You know what I'm saying? And Portia tried to do the mediation thing because her and Pinky ain't never had no fallout. So she was like, you 100% correct about what you're saying, that the corporations do it or whatever, right? And she's like, but you don't sound sorry, basically is what she was saying. You don't sound like it's any type of remorse. Like, you sound like you really, whatever about it. And she wasn't receiving that either. And then K. Michelle was like, well, I've been there with her in the night when she crying and stuff. This stuff really get to her, but she don't want people to really see her down like that, which I can respect that too. Patrick said, I really get what she was trying to say. Remember, the show is somehow edited. Was it edited when she said it can come across whatever? That wasn't an edit. That's what she said. See, people can't edit you with what you didn't say. She said it. We watched her say it right there tonight. We watched her. She's so busy worrying about people gonna make fun of her that what she did was show her true colors, and we saw you. We received you. Just like she showed her true colors when she called the police on them black folks up there that were vending along the sidewalk, which was not her property, because she didn't want nobody to make no money but her. But that's the whole point, Patrick. She didn't know nobody was gonna throw nothing at her. So she came in with a nasty attitude because she's stanky panky. She's a nasty cow. Antoinette said, didn't she say she wasn't going to file at the end of the season? What changed? She was lying. That's what changed. Hey, Blue Devil, thank you for being 225. Yep, I believe that. I believed it. It was real, just stanky panky. She's got a disgusting attitude. Everything about her is just very much garbage pail kids. Stanky panky. That's what y'all know. That's why I call that lady Stanky Panky, because everything about her is stank attitude, stank shape, stank face, just stank. Everything stank. Stanky Panky. So anyway, Cynthia tried to talk to her, and I know about the restaurant business and all that. That didn't even work. Because Kelly had jumped in and was like, well, don't, nobody want to highlight their failures. Angela was like, yeah, but, and then, my bad. Kelly said nobody don't want to highlight their failures. And she's like, and Angela was doing it last year. And Angela made it clear. She said, but I never did it. She said, and I was an open book about everything I was going through financially and what I was trying to do and not do and what was working and what wasn't working. She said, I was an open book. And so I think that was Facial was like, yeah, you were. And she said, and I never came in here bragging and, and saying stuff like I could buy people's foreclosed houses while my house was in foreclosure. I said, whoop. So then Pinky, two things can be true at the same time. Well, one thing is true is you got a nasty attitude, Stanky Panky. Because in that moment, I can honestly say Phaedra was the only one that kind of really was holding Pinky feet to the fire. Everybody else, aside from Phaedra, was trying to give her grace and reason with her. Tried to give her grace and reason with her. And they were met with stanky panky. Hey, K Blake. So anyway, after that, Phaedra was like, but how you saying your husband has money and your kid's dentist bill is on your bankruptcy? And I had to, look at that because I'm like, your husband got money. Why didn't he just pay the dentist bill? How did that end up on your bankruptcy? I didn't even know that was on her bankruptcy. So this is why we got pages of notes, because it was a lot said tonight. I'm like, dang, Pain. Was this supposed to be April? Stay on topic, baby. Hey, sis, MWOG, what's happening? This supposed to have been a business bankruptcy. How your personal bills trying to get up in there? I'm like, this look crazy, man. This look real crazy. And I'm like, dang, Phaedra, you acting like Angela. You done went and got all the dirt. I say, help me, Lord. So then Pinky's like, should I be ashamed of that? Andy said no. Mind you, I'm telling y'all, Phaedra was the only person that was nailing Pinky to the tree. She didn't raise her voice to do it, but she was nailing her to the tree. Everybody else was trying to give her grace. Even Andy was like, no, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. And so Angela was like, yeah, but you said you could buy my foreclosed house. The business house that she bought last year and wasn't able to sell. She couldn't move them, right? So she said, but you called me Mr. Clean and Papa Smurf. Angela said, yeah, after. And I said to myself, and myself said, I said, that couch over there have a timeline problem. It's a timeline issue, right? Like, they will make a whole federal case out of what people say to them and forget that the people were saying things in response to what you said. It's like, how should I say this? They are bothered by the way people respond to disrespect or perceived disrespect, mind you, because maybe you weren't being disrespectful, but the person perceived your behavior as disrespectful. So they were responding. And it's like between Kelly, Panky, K. Michelle, and Shamia, they have hissy fits over how people pop them back. Like when you pop somebody and they pop you back, like you can't cry about how they pop you back. Like, are you cool? She's like, you called me Mr. Pink, Mr. Clean, and Papa Smurf. She's like, yeah, after you said what you said. And I'm like, that's some wild crap, dog. Like, we watched that scene in Dallas at the table, Pinky. Angela wasn't even coming to you crazy. You went to her crazy, and then all of a sudden it was a group project. Y'all went on a car trip. Y'all was carpooling the hell. Like, y'all went together. She took you there and she was driving. Okay. But you the one cranked up the car and opened the held the door open for her. She just came with you. So I'm like, whatever. So that's when Cynthia was like, again, trying to be the mediator. And it's like, well, I've been involved with restaurants through my ex, and I know it's really tough. And it's like, Sean, Philippians, which scripture is that? 41:38. Says Angela 60? No, she's not 60. Because that's one young looking, beautiful 60-year-old. Yeah, if she was 60, that would be lit, but she's not. Angela younger than me. So I know she ain't 60. Living nothing happen, I'm gonna get there, but I ain't there yet. But she ain't there yet because Angela younger than me. But so she trying to, when you come into these groups like this, it can get confusing on the show because it's like maybe people are confused. Like, do you got it or you ain't got it? You good or you not good? You got the means or you ain't got the means? Like, people don't really know what direction is coming from when you bragging, I got it, I'm this, I can wipe my butt with $90,000, but you can't pay the dentist bill. All that type of stuff, right? So Cynthia trying to say it the nice way, like maybe it's confusing or whatever. And so Pinky was like, well, I would not have gotten on the show if I didn't qualify. Like them people running your credit. Like, girl, why are you here at this point? Why are you here? Right? So Phaedra was like, girl, you don't have to turn in no tax papers to be on this show. And Andy was like, yeah, well, we don't check bank accounts. Maybe we should. I said, ooh, Andy Cohen been over there slick shading the hell out of people. This whole reunion, man. When Drew told Kelly to get her titties undone and Andy was over there like howling like a werewolf, laughing, I said, oh no, Andy want to be part of the cast or something. Because when he was like, we don't check bank accounts, maybe we should, I said, gee, Monity. So Cynthia started trying to, mediate. And she's like, but just sometimes people could take it like, I don't care. Just being dismissive, nasty, snapping at Cynthia. Mind you, Cynthia ain't said nothing nasty to her. But she started snapping. So Cynthia just let it go because ain't no point in trying to reason with somebody who's just nasty, right? What's the point? I wouldn't. So then after the break, we had another break after the break. So then, and to come back talking about Meatgate. If y'all know about Meatgate, the Meatgate was Shamia went and lied on Phaedra and said Phaedra said you ate meat, knowing the whole time that her alliance member said that the girl eat meat and lied on Phaedra. And if y'all remember, put a 2 in the chat again, give me my tools. If y'all remember during the season when Pinky finally said it to Phaedra and Phaedra said, I didn't say that. And Shamia was like, yes, you did. Y'all put a 2 in the chat if y'all remember Shamia lying with a straight face on Phaedra to Phaedra. Tell Phaedra, yes, you did. And Phaedra was like, no, I did not. And Pinky was like, why would she lie? She said, well, because she don't like me. Y'all put a 2 if y'all remember that. So it's like, Shamia, you the comment, you lie on people to their face. She did it to Drew after that Star Springer Banner stuff. Shamia, girl, you got a spirit on you. You know that, I know that ain't no laughing matter, but if you need to go for deliverance, baby, go. Because see, at first I was like, maybe Shamia, she just be lying. Maybe she just nasty. At this point, at the level at which Shamia can just spit them lies out, this might be a spiritual problem. Y'all might laugh at me, but I'm not joking. You don't see now smile on my face. I'm not cracking one because I'm not telling no joke. Shamia might have a spiritual issue because them lies, I'm like, at this point, I'm starting to think this ain't natural. Miss Sarah, what you know? I'm going to be quiet, but I believe that old lady knows something as to why her child like that. But I'm going to let it be because it ain't my business. Ain't my business, but I'm just asking because it's on our television screen and we looking at it. Who age shaming? Listen, don't do no bickering in my chat now. Don't do no bickering. We talk about the people, not each other. Yeah, it's real. Sunshine laughing. You think I'm joking. There is a demonic spirit that'll have people lying like that and they won't be able to stop. Y'all think I'm kidding, but I'm dead serious. But anywho, moving right along. So then Andy basically asked her how you feel knowing that it was Kelly that said that and it wasn't Phaedra. Like you sat up there and said all this nasty stuff and whatever about her. You find out it's Kelly and it's all giggles and kikis. Go ahead and tell us that y'all in an alliance without telling us y'all in an alliance. See, your alliance member said that you ain't got all this smoke because like, oh, well, you probably didn't like it, but you ain't want to say nothing. Mm-hmm. So she's like, well, Kelly, you got something you want to tell me? So Kelly was like, well, see, I had seen her at this steakhouse and I didn't know, until I went there with her that she got her own personalized menu at the steakhouse and it don't have nothing to do with meat. And I didn't know that. And she gave this fake apology. Then Shamia jumped in talking about piggybacking off of that, trying to explain why she lied on Phaedra. You lied on her because you wanted to. You just felt like lying, so you lied. Talking about, well, when she said it was a Jamaican restaurant that served meat, I thought she said you ain't thought she said a goddamn thing. Because Kelly said it flat to your mouth, to your face, nose to nose, not over the phone. Because I seen her eating steak. You knew who said it. You just lied on that lady. And you thought you wasn't going to get caught. Because you're weird. Either that or you need deliverance. Either way. Okay? And then she gave Phaedra some fake apology. And Phaedra didn't even address it because she didn't need to. And I agree with that. Them apologies was trash. So then Phaedra say basically, but the gag is Pinky did not apologize. And she the one ran around talking about the girl eating dead people and all like that. Yeah. And she said, and I know Pinky. And we've done business together. She said, and you got my number. But instead of calling me to see if I said it, you just wanted to run around dragging me and then never apologize. And so Pinky, here comes Stanky Pinky, and I'm not going to. I hope you didn't think that made you look good. It made you look just as stupid as you look. It made you look just as stupid as you look. And I'm going to say it, Pinky, you're not pretty enough to act like that. You're not. You're not pretty enough to be acting ugly. Because see, seeing this figures, when you act ugly, it make you look bad. And when you already ain't that cute, Stanky Pinky, that ain't the move. Nakia say, Nitra, I agree about Shamia. She's the one with the real Jezebel spirit, manipulative, deceitful, and divisive. Baby, they don't know about Queen Jezebel. That's why they be throwing that title around for everybody, in and everybody. Charlene said, I hope they don't bring back Kelly. She the worst housewife they ever had. Hands down. Hands down. Pink Pilates Princess said, Coach, take Pinky out of defense and offense. Take her off the field. Arturo say Pinky gonna end up getting a Porsche starter package next season. I sure hope not. I sure hope not. I don't know if she threatened Phaedra, because that's not the impression that I got from the conversation, but we about to get into that next, right? So when she said, I'm not going to, right? Then Phaedra said, well, why not? To give it to her. Give it to her. So, well, she not. We got to be honest. She not that cute. She not that cute. Shamia's super pretty. K. Michelle is pretty. But we gonna have to be honest about Stanky Panky and Kelly. They, it's a little, it's a different type of situation going on there. It's a little different. Different. So when she said, why not, Pink say, well, Andy, see what you don't know and I never talked about. And I'm sitting here like, let me lean in. Because what the hell, right? She went to the higher ups on me to say that I had I made a statement. Well, first they went to the higher ups on me, and Phaedra say, tell them why. And she said, well, she said that I said something about defending myself with a specific device, and I'm not going to say what it is. Phaedra say, no, you should say what it was, because you did make that comment. And so Pinky say, no, I did not. You, just like you said, I had your phone number and I could have called you. Lord, when in Rome, called a piglet Pinky. Piglet Pinky. Piglet Pinky. That's deep. That's deep. And so she said, well, you could have called me or whatever. So Phaedra said, she said, you could have called me. And Phaedra said, I kept saying, Pinky, shut up, Pinky. Be quiet, Pinky. And I believe Phaedra said it. Yeah, that's what the Bible called it. Tender-eyed. My baby went biblical. Tender-eyed. They're a little tender-eyed. Like Leah. Remember Rachel and Leah in the Bible? And Leah was tender-eyed. That's the one. Y'all remember that story where Jacob went to go marry Rachel and he worked for 7 years to get her, and then his uncle Laban tricked him and gave him the tender-eyed daughter, and then he had to work 7 more years to get Rachel. Those of y'all who go to church, y'all know what I'm talking about. That's what she's referring to. She's saying that Pinky and Kelly is tender-eyed. They like Leah, child. They like Leah. Yeah. Hey, Larry, I'm disappointed, Andy. This is not the cast. The whole right side of the couch could go. We need housewives, not build a housewife. And you're right. But listen, so after she said that, I'm gagged in a way, because I'm like, Pinky, if she had really gone to the higher ups, Andy would have known everything about it. If he really, right, Charlene, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you telling Andy you don't know this. If Phaedra had actually went to the higher ups, Andy absolutely would have known about it. It's given she said something to production like, hey, talk to her. And looking at how Stinky Pinky conducts herself, and the fact that can't nobody talk to you, it's absolutely giving. She had to talk to production to let them talk to you, because you wasn't going to listen to her. She wasn't finna be arguing at you and listening to you snap at her being stank. Nakia said he had all them kids by that tender-eyed girl. Because apparently she was toting that thing. Married ladies, y'all know what I'm talking about. Married ladies only. If y'all not married, y'all out there, letting people know what you're toting, testing what you're toting, you're wrong. Blue Devil Babe say, you just made me think about my girl Tam, who does trap Bible stories. What? I ain't know nobody was doing that. Well, shout out to her. Got to get it out. Got to get the word out the best way you can. I like it. So anyway, she's like, no, you didn't, because you was over there playing mute at that table. And I'm like, Phaedra is quiet when she want to be. She talk when she need to. So I'm just like, okay, I do believe Phaedra when she said she told her, hey, Pinky, shut up. Especially something that's serious. I believe it. Especially after what happened last year. Because the whole time they talking, all I could think about was Kenya Moore and Britt Eady. And I'm like, okay, has somebody gone to production last year when Britt first made that statement? Kenya would still have her job. Britt would probably still have her job. Maybe. They might have suspended her a couple of episodes, brought her back. But nobody didn't go to production, and production played dumb like they didn't hear what that girl said. So that was the first thing came to my mind, like, yeah, Phaedra not wrong. She was supposed to go tell them people, hey, talk to her. Because you can't talk to Pinky. You see how nasty she being when people being nice. We saw her in Dallas. Angela was talking to her cool, and she went to, ain't nothing about you got me, but just a hot, disgusting, stanky, panky ghetto mess. Like, just out of control. Oh, Lord. Y'all tough. You say she like a turd? Jesus, I almost hit that comment. I ain't gonna put that one up, but it's tough. Yeah, as y'all can see, the reflection corner is closed. Okay. Corner's closed. I'm letting y'all say what you want to say. Shy Fire say, I'm married. I don't know what it means to tell what you're toting. Yeah, well, see, your husband done already signed the papers and put a ring on it. So whatever you toting, he the only one know about it. He the only one supposed to know what you toting. That's supposed to be a secret twins, y'all. Betwixt and between y'all. Okay. Keep that secret. Don't let everybody know what you're toting. But yeah. So after she said that, and she was like, she said what she said. And Andy was like, so y'all never had this conversation. Y'all never talked about this. And so Pinky said, well, I had just came into the group and basically I ate it, but I ain't like it. And, I just moved on and whatever. So Andy was like, well, I've known her for many years. And if she, and Phaedra had said, girl, if I had wanted to, make it a big thing, I would have made it a big thing. I would have, if that's what I wanted to do. And so Andy was like, yeah, I've known her for many years. If she really wanted to make it a thing, she would have come to the actual higher up. She would have came to me and the people, up top. Definitely giving lesbian aggression, because some lesbians are like the cool, fun lesbians. And some lesbians are like the angry, grr, arg lesbians. And I'm, Pink is giving grr, arg energy, not fun, cozy, cool, arg is what Pinky gives. So yeah. So after Andy said that, Pinky was like, well, for the record, I'm not a threat to nobody, right? So Phaedra said, well, this ain't The Wire. And so Pinky was like, well, I don't have no problem with Phaedra. And so Phaedra was just like, yeah, that's why, the whole attitude or whatever was crazy because I didn't have no problem with you, right? So if you were asked the question, why was your husband the last one to know? Not the flannel and khakis, Jesus. Why was your husband the last one to know about you want to file bankruptcy and why you ain't take the money from it? So she talking about, well, he got his pride and he didn't want me to file and blah, skip it. So Andy said, well, why didn't you just take the money? Well, because now the answer she gave didn't make no sense. Why would you not take the money to bail yourself out when you were writing off things like dental bills for your husband? Like, or if not for your husband, for your children. That doesn't make sense, Pinky, because she said, well, because these was creditors from my previous business, and why would I have him pay off stuff from the... Are you okay? It doesn't matter what business is from. Y'all are a unit. Y'all is married. The two became one in the miracle of the spirit. Why would it matter what the origin of the debt was? Like, it made no sense. She just be lying. That's right. And so after that, And it was like, somebody asked about the release date for the movie. She told about that. I don't want to see no movies. Talking about she got to deal with a major network. And I'm just like, Pinky, don't nobody care about that. And then the viewer asked Drew, why did you go to support Pinky in person? You should have stayed home. Drew said, well, because I told Pinky I would come and support her. So I made the effort to come out and do that. So then Pinky shows her ignorance yet again. Like at this point, girl, look, I've had it. You arguing success with somebody with a whole Juris Doctorate and multiple successful businesses. Now you trying to argue about the film industry with Drew Sidora. I'm tired. So she said, well, you say that it was a cattle call. You belittled my project. And so I'm like, girl, that's what they call what you did. And so the end, it was like, that's an acting term, cattle call. It's an audition, it's a cattle call. Like, why would you think that's belittling? You only felt like she was belittling you because you want to make a movie, but you don't know nothing about it. You're so ignorant that even the terms associated with making a movie, you're too daft to even know about them. She making Drew Sidora look smart. That's scary. Honestly, it is. So then Andy told her, like, girl, that's a whole acting term. Like, that's an industry term. And so it was the way she said it. It wasn't the way she said it. It was the fact that she said it and you didn't know what it meant. You're offended because you don't know what it means. Okay? And that would be forgivable if you weren't so god awful unpleasant. I've gotten offended before because I didn't know what something meant. One of the doctors I worked with at the prison, hey, blessed, Dr. Garcia from Cuba, and he called me a pretty negrita, and I was about ready to jump on that man's neck and ride him across the water like an inner tube back to that little island. Who the hell is you calling a nigger? What? And they was like, no, he wasn't saying that. They had to explain to me what it was, and then I, dapped him up. My bad, Rufino, but you need to explain yourself, okay? Because I don't speak of the Española. Okay, we about to run into a little impasse over here. Make sure I know what you're saying. When any word that start with N-I-G and you talking to me, you a little pale to be using them words, okay? And then we could get on past it. But Pink is so unpleasant. And then when people correct her and tell her what it actually means, instead of her saying, oh, my bad, oh, but she said it away. Just admit that you're ignorant and you didn't know what it meant and you were offended for no reason. See how that works? When you're normal. When you're normal, you don't feel the need to just tell a different lie to cover up the fact that you didn't know something. The divine Miss M say lying spirits are definitely transferable. Yes, Lord. Anything demonic, if you in the vicinity, you can get affected now. You got to be careful. Okay? Do hard. What you say? I knew it. I've been saying to myself for the longest. You work in the medical field for many years. Now I work in bedroom, kitchen, and living room ER. That's where I work now. For Mr. MISTER, period. I'm off these feet. But yeah, you picked it up. So yeah, after that, embarrassed herself, stuck with the lie. And Angela let her know, girl, I'm the one you call cattle. You call me cattle. And they showed the clip from Dallas. And so she's like, yeah, I did. I'm sorry. That was a lighthearted moment, right? And then Drew was like, look, that's why I had told you the procedure. Send me the stuff. This how it go. Because I'm actually in a union. I don't know how the Actors Union work, but I know they do have unions and the guilds and all that, right? I do know that exists, but I don't know how it works. See how that works? You just admit you don't know something. And she said, because I wasn't saying I wasn't going to do it because it's small or independent or anything like that, because that's what Pinky was insinuating. She was like, girl, I do stage plays. I do indie films. I do small projects. And Kelly over there sniggling, kiki, Tubi. You wish you could do some Tubi. You do. You wish you could do some Tubi. While you over here couch surfing, got them babies couch surfing. You need to do some Tubi. Will they hire you? Will anybody hire you? Is the question. Kiki Tubi. And so Drew said, and also box office. and also Disney and everything else. You know, she was like, I was in a picture with John Travolta. I was in White Chicks. She went to run it down her resume. Now, while I am not a Drew Sidora fan, don't sleep on that girl resume. Don't sleep on what she's done. Like some of y'all right now still mad with her and want to drop kick her from being on the game and breaking up med school and Derwin right now. So let's not pretend like, oh, all she can do is Tubi. No, she can do Tubi. She doing Tubi, and anybody else that come with a check, as she should. That's somebody mama. She got to make a coin. Okay? Coins must be made. Coins must be made because everybody don't want everything they own closing. Okay? It's okay to be down. It's okay to get down. It's okay sometimes to lose things. Let me say that too, because I feel like sometimes people look at losing the wrong way. Every now and then, and I ain't gonna preach, I ain't gonna hang too long. We getting through the notes good. We almost there. But I gotta say this. And this needs to be said because we're talking a lot about women who've lost things, i.e. Kelly, Drew, Pinky. Portia's lost things before. Angela went through it last year. What I want them to understand, and what I would like for all of us to understand, is sometimes God can't do nothing with you until he pull everything off of you. Sometimes you got to be broke down to the lowest common denominator for you to hear his voice, for you to get yourself together, for you to stop doing the stuff that you've been saying for the last 5 years. I really got to stop doing that. But as long as you're comfortable, you're not going to quit. As long as you're sitting in comfort, you won't excel. Sometimes you're so comfortable sitting where you're sitting that it's something bigger for you that he's trying to get you to, but you can't get there because you so busy being comfortable. Sometimes he got to break the stuff off you. It's okay to lose things. What is not okay to do is to lose things, walk around fronting, talking trash, attacking people about where they are. That ain't why you there. You didn't get broke down to this level to be focusing on other people. You got broke down to this level where you can focus on you and come out as your best version of yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with losing. Ain't nothing wrong with suffering. Some people don't want to suffer for nothing, and that's why you ain't got nothing. But if you can suffer through some things, if you learn how to suffer, when you get through suffering, you'll be able to say, God, I thank you for my suffering. But you ain't gonna have that testimony if when you going through it, instead of you focusing on that, you worrying about what's on somebody else's plate. You worrying about what's in somebody else's pocket. You worrying about who name on somebody else's house. You worrying about who got a brick and mortar. You worrying about I got millions of dollars and I kept it open for 8 years. Hey, man. Everybody who got a testimony done lost something before. It's okay to lose. We laugh, we joke. Sometimes we laugh to keep from crying. But this, that attitude Pinky got, baby, that's why you got brought down and you still ain't learned nothing. If you don't, you're going to get brought down again. Pride goeth before the fall. That's all I'm saying. I ain't gonna get into it too deep, but somebody needed to hear that. If you in your season right now where things are being taken away and broken away from you, let it go. Don't try to grasp and hold on to it. Don't try to keep up appearances so people don't talk. Let them talk, because the same people watching you fall down, they're gonna watch your come up. They're gonna watch your testimony. They watching your test and they're gonna watch your testimony. But Pink is so worried about people watching her test, she gonna miss her testimony. She trying to create her own testimony. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna let it go. Back to the notes, because y'all know how I can get. So anyway, so Drew asked Pinky about her lesbian relationship, and she, said it as vulgar as she could, that she munched on a few carpets. And dating women is fun for a little while, and they get clingy. And then they had a little lighthearted moment. Portia's like, yep, I'm clingy. I'll be grabbing the U-Haul. And Andy was like, yeah, they be ready to move in. And Kelly called Portia a U-Haul lesbian. She said, yep, I'm a U-Haul lesbian. I said, okay, well, this part of the conversation, I can't take part in. I don't know how that worked, but God bless you. So then we get to backstage with Drew talking to Portia, and she tells Drew that Kelly keep playing the victim and doing them interviews, so I done paid for a lot of tech done. We see the little clip that a lot of tech the man done came through. So then after the break, they get back on the stage. I'm waiting on a lie detector. We didn't even get into that yet. So then Andy was like, it's raining married men, and they had a whole segment. This is the first time I think I've seen this. They normally have a segment on each lady. Baby, they had a segment on the married men of Atlanta from Andy Cohen. So then Andy asked about George and got into the Shamia and Angela and the George of it all with Ashley Tinkerbell, his wife. Angela is the neighbor. Shamia said that she met him because she was doing some kind of team building at his job. And Andy said, have y'all ever dated in the past? And she said, no, because when I first met him with his wife, which I told y'all, I don't believe Shamia touched that weird, funny looking pot-bellied man. I don't believe that for 1 minute. Shamia too pretty to be done touched the man look like that. That man looked terrible. Like, honestly, terrible. I don't believe if she did it, I'm going to have to see video evidence with a certificate to prove it ain't AI. I don't believe it. Okay. And so he asked about that. And then Andy was like, well, Portia and Phaedra, did y'all feel a way seeing Angela say that, sex wasn't mentioned when y'all heard her ask Shamia, did she F the man? So Portia was like, I think that was about two different things. And so Angela said it was. She said, because I never said that Ashley said nothing, which that's true. I get that. So Shamia was like, well, even if you didn't say that, because at first she was trying to hang her hat. You said that. Ashley said, you said at the table. And Angela was like, Shamia, you lying. I did not say that. So production showed her talking. Angela told her to her face at the table, I never said that. So then once Shamia get caught in the lie, well, even if you didn't say that. And I'm like, Shamia, this about the third or fourth time you done said, well, even if you didn't say that. Stop saying people said stuff and then doubling back talking about even if you didn't say it. Ain't no even if you didn't say it. Say what the people said and then tell us why you upset about what they said. Stop saying they said stuff they didn't say. This is why I'm starting to say, Miss Sarah, you know why your daughter doing that. You know why your child is doing that. You know why your daughter is like that. You know what's causing your baby to be like that, Miss Sarah. If you ever run across it, because you never know, the world is small. My little T90 channel might slide across your desk. Or somebody you know might see it and show it to you. Miss Sarah, you know what's wrong with your daughter. You know why she's doing that. Mm-hmm. You know. So even if you didn't say that, you still asked if I F George. So she asked you a question. Asking you a question ain't lying on you. Asking you a question is not lying on you, ma'am. In order to say somebody lied on you, you gotta tell us what lie you told. You gotta tell us what lie what lie they told. You can't say, well, you didn't say the lie I claim you told, but you still asking me a question. No, ma'am. So Andy said, well, you did ask if she effed him. Yeah, people lied to ask questions. Didn't Shamia ask Drew last year if she was going with Dennis? So she can ask Drew, but Angela can't ask her. Just lay the rules out so we know who's allowed to be asked and who's not allowed to be asked. That's all. Just lay it out there for us. Make it plain. Make it plain. So then we can all follow the rules if you tell us what they are. So Portia was like, well, she didn't say it came from Ashley. Andy said, well, Drew, why did you say Angela was vindicated? Hey, DT. And say, why did you say she was vindicated? And so Drew said, because the man said that's what he said. The man said that's what he said. So if the man saying that's what he said, what on earth do you want anybody to assume other than she's vindicated? If you claiming she said something and she didn't say it, how else can they take that, honey? She's vindicated. You claim she lied on you, and we see that she didn't lie on you. She didn't lie on you. She told you what she believed, and she asked you a question. That's not a lie. Is it rude? Yeah. Was it uncalled for? Absolutely. Was it provoked? Yes, it was. And at the same time, it's still not a lie. It's a lot of ugly things that people can say that are not lies. It was ugly, but it wasn't a lie. And so after Drew was like, because George said verbatim exactly what the lady said she said, right? And then Shamia was like, No, you asked if I effed him. But she didn't say that anybody said anything. She asked you a question. So Andy said, well, it seems the couple made it clear that there was never any type of relationship between George and Shamia. Okay, fine. And Angela said, okay, but don't call me a liar. I don't have to believe her. So Shamia over there yelling, you are a liar. Tell us what lie she told or shut up. Christmas ornament. Pick one, right? So then Kelly starts yelling. And I'm like, why are you yelling? So she starts yelling. And you don't want nobody to say your husband cheating. And Angela said, well, you lied about my husband all last season. And Kelly, I don't give a damn about your husband. And Angela said, well, when you get one, you'll understand. Mind you, you gonna say you don't care nothing about her husband, but you've been talking about her husband since last year. You started talking about her husband. Okay. So then Kelly said, after Angela said, well, get one, you'll understand. And I'm sitting there like, Angela, you know that girl just got through getting divorced, right? You know she didn't have a husband. She had one. So then Kelly says she had one for 11 years, right? And I didn't need to get pregnant to have one. And then called her a hoe. And I'm just like, Kelly, I don't know if that landed like you meant, but okay. So then after the break, it had another break. Then after the break, right? And it was like, gonna ask Angela, did you accuse Shamia of being a hoe because of the comment she made to your daughter? And I'm sitting there like, Andy, is your timeline messed up? Because Angela called Shamia a hoe before she made that comment to Angela's daughter. Before she made the comment to Angela's daughter, Angela had already called her a hoe. Remember, they met up at the restaurant and they were supposed to be talking, and Shamia came in there dressed up like Portia Jr. and had her booty looking like a swole up pamper, like a pissy pamper, and sat down and was like, and your husband don't want to come home. Try to keep him home. And then Angela was like, oh, you talking about Charles? Well, let's talk about the Hawks and the Falcons. And then that's when we went to, the Hoville, right? But apparently Andy can't keep the timeline straight. That's what we're here for. And Angela said no. She said the bottom line is that Shamia was the only person she had tried to build a relationship with. And she talked about them being in Grenada, and she bought a birthday present for her and her daughter, and they was both Tauruses, and then she was the other married lady on the cast. So she wanted to have a relationship with her. I guess she felt like, oh, we're going to be the married girls. Okay. And all of that. And it didn't work out. And she said, then she sat up there calling me messy and stuff, bringing up what happened last year. And she did keep saying like, oh, you keep blaming me for what went on between you and Portia. And I'm like, let me ask y'all, was that scene in the, in this season? I seem like I remember it, but I don't really remember it. Or maybe they cut part of it out where she was calling Angela messy. And of course, Shamia was like, no, I didn't. And Angela was like, roll it. And production rolled the tape like you literally did. But it's bad. People got to, roll the tape on you because you'll do stuff and then just straight up lie to their face like, nope, never happened, didn't happen. You're crazy. I don't know where you heard it. Roll the tape, you said it. So apparently you really was calling her messy and still mad at her about telling Portia all the stuff that you were saying about Portia back while you was pretending that was your bestie and you were such a good friend. I think it was, okay, Dom Downford says she think it was unseen footage. Brooklyn Queen for you said it was at Pinky. I could see it was at Pinky's restaurant, and I remember them being at Pinky's restaurant, but I don't remember that segment of their conversation. I gotta go back and watch it. Charlene say, Shamia chose to be messy toward Angela after Portia kicked her to the curb. She's jealous because Angela and Portia are now friends and she's not. Jay is the Gym 8 say, Lord, these heifers, geesh, they are messy and mean to each other. Messy is different. Mean is just ill. That's right. Shy-Fi said, no, that scene was not shown during the season. I didn't think so. See, this is why a lot of the stuff be sounding crazy, right? Hey, Neil Aries. Listen, I hope that man don't watch this show. I hope he just, like a typical man and don't care about no housewives. Listen, put a 6 in the chat if y'all remember during the season Angela was referencing Shamia, blaming her for her and Portia not being friends, she kept doing it. And I'm like, what is she even talking about? Like, did this happen on the phone? This legit happened in a scene and we didn't get to see it. Like, production, why are you cutting this out? Especially when you see Angela keep referencing this because it bothered her that you call her messy. And she was like, no, I'm not. And Shamia was like, yes, you are. We see this tonight. We didn't get to see none of this during the season. So I'm looking at Angela like, girl, you just acting crazy because somebody mentioned Charles. You can't stand for, because y'all know I said it. Oh, she just doing this because somebody mentioned Charles. Because that's usually her own switch. You mentioned Charles, she lose her mind. She ready to find the deep end and jump smooth off. Whole time, Shamia really was blaming her and calling her messy and being slick nasty at Stanky Panky's, you know, tofu sandwich restaurant, and we didn't know nothing about it. Yeah, it's like they had Angela looking a fool for how she was coming at her. Yeah, I remember the scene, Belicious, but they cut part of that out. We didn't get to see all of that. Production, count your days. Y'all giving us half a story, and I don't like it, honestly. So dig, right? After that, we seen that, and I'm putting 2 and 2 together like, okay, so this is what really went on. She called her messy. No, I didn't. Angela say roll tape. We see that she actually did said it. She actually did say it. Shamia was like, well, you know, that shouldn't have caused all that. So Angela was like, look, I brought that out at Dallas, basically saying, I remember the real time when this was happening. Angela made it clear, like, no, Shamia, I believe you the one in K. Michelle ear telling her all this crazy stuff. So then we hear tonight, Angela was like, the reason I brought that out in Dallas was I felt like she would be the one to do that because of my experiences with Shamia. Now, this is where Andy Cohen, I could catch you in a dark alley and break your kneecaps. That was your time to answer the question. Andy was supposed to be asking her, what was your experience with Shamia? Because for her to say, I felt like it had to be Shamia the one telling Kay stuff and making her think people was out to get her because of my experience with her. Listen, it's in the notes. I was typing while these hookers was talking. I was typing while they was talking. For her to say that was my experience, Andy or somebody on that stage should have said, Miss Angela Oakley, what was your experience with Shamia that made you believe that Shamia would be the one to be going to K. Michelle telling her people out to get her and putting stuff in her ear? How is your experience with Shamia Morton Wangi parallel to that? Where are you finding the parallels? This is where the question should have been asked. And they let it go. And I didn't like it. I ain't like that. Like, why y'all let that slide? So Shamia pretended she didn't hear what she said and kept trying to argue a different point because, again, that's what she do when she caught. And I think she wanted to argue a different point because she was hoping and praying. I mean, she was probably over there squeezing her butt cheeks together, hoping, hey, Zeta Williams, hoping nobody wasn't going to say, Angela, what was your experience with Shamia? Because that's what I want to hear. What was Shamia saying to you? What was Shamia in your ear saying? What was Shamia telling you about the other cast members? Now, that's what I wanted to know. Because, see, I had already figured out that's what went on between Angela and Shamia. Y'all know I called that out maybe a few months back. That's why Angela was swinging at her so hard because, like, I done sat up with you while you talked about this girl pretending to be her friend, and I'm thinking me and you cool, and you sitting down there by the poolside with her Kiki and talking trash about my man. What's going on? Okay. So Shamia pretended not to hear her, not to hear nothing Angela was saying, because Angela made it very clear what she was saying. Shamia pretended not to hear it, was just like, I mean, I just don't think that me making a messy comment should have ended up with this and that happening in the Hawks and the Falcons and George. And girl, that ain't what caused that. That ain't what she said. Ain't no one messy comment. It was a series of unfortunate events like Lemony Snicket. So I'm just sitting there like, So after that, Andy was like, well, can y'all come back from this? Angela was like, child, I don't think so, because she sent me a cease and desist, and I don't know whether she want me to talk or not talk. I don't know if she's a victim or a bully. I say, listen, them shows is taking me out. I need Angela to stop with the shows, victim or bully. So she's like, I'm definitely not no victim. And so Andy asked her, well, why did you send a cease and desist? And Shamil was like, well, let me tell you what it says. You didn't tell him why you sent it. You talking about this. The cease and desist says either name the names of the persons or cease talking or something. I'm like, that don't sound right. That don't sound right at all. So anyway, Angela was like, Shamil, it came from a credible source, and for you to be outside talking about my husband and Dominique Wilkins and they out there cheating and hoeing around or whatever. And she said, well, you a married woman and saying that is disgusting. And Angela said, and you was a married woman when you said my husband was cheating and don't come home. And so then she was like, well, your husband said that at Portia's house. And so Angela said he was clearly joking. Andy said it sounded like a lot of jokes getting misconstrued. Okay. But I'm sitting there like, well, hell, if it's okay for Shamir to misconstrue a joke by Angela's husband, why is it not okay for Angela to misconstrue a joke by Potbelly Greenbeard George? So I'm like, again, Andy, tell us what the rules are. So Shamir can misconstrue a joke, but Angela cannot. Shamir can question Drew and say, are you going with Dennis? But Angela can't ask her, is you hunching Potbelly Greenbeard George? What's the rule? Andy, make it clear, baby. Make it clear. Write it out for us in black and white. So I'm like, whatever. So then Shamir was like, you got more smoke for me than the person who tried to sleep with your husband. So Angela said, so Portia tried to sleep with my husband now. So Shamir was like, that's what you said. That ain't what Angela said. That ain't what Portia said. I'm like, dang, Shamir, anytime you're back up against the wall and you ain't getting your way, you just tell another lie, huh? That's deep. So then Portia was like, well, since y'all want to drag me in it, I don't know why, but I'm in it now. Oh, you been in it. How has she been in it? She literally was letting y'all argue. Oh, you been in it. Mind you, Portia ignored her like she had been doing all night. She ignored all that and just say what she gonna say. So then Portia was like, look, I made that disgusting statement. I apologized to her. I took accountability. She gave me grace. And then I apologized and I shut up. She said everybody else that was there was claiming that all I did was laugh at what Portia said. All I did was laugh at what Portia said. And Portia said that was not true. Okay. Said that was not true. And she said it was zero accountability outside of herself. She said Kelly was down there talking about he had a whole baby. Shamir said that Mr. Charles had a woman in New York and women all over the place. And she said, I don't know him. Which she did kind of say that. Shy-Fi said the mean girls bully Angela. Ain't nobody bully Angela last year. Stop that. Ain't nobody bully Angela last year. Stop that. Portia barely showed up to work last year. She got a check for nothing. Portia ain't did a goddamn thing all season long. Them people paid her to sit up there and play in their face and take their check. She wouldn't engage with nobody. She wouldn't argue with nobody. She sat there darn near turning her nose up at them people all season long. Portia was a nothing burger last season. Ain't nobody bully Angela. Nobody. Drew was trying to position herself to be a victim, but I ain't really see that either. But Angela for darn sure ain't get bullied. Angela, child, don't start me back relitigating last season. But y'all know Angela ain't get no bully. Don't try that. But yeah, so after she said that, Shamir yelling, I didn't say that. You lying. You lying. I said I don't know him. That's what I said. Angela said, that's a lie. Because I heard you. You did not say that you don't know him. And she said that's why when they had that talk at that little party when Angela had on that big yellow dress, when she told Britt Edie she had miles on her mouth, y'all remember that, huh? Shamir had sat down and was talking. And she was like, that's why she let that go. Because Shamir never did apologize. And the production showed Shamir sitting up in her face, lying to her face. And, I just laugh. I like to laugh and all that. And we saw Angela again last year saying, I'm going to just let this go because this ain't going nowhere good. And again, last year, my apologies, Angela. I'm just like, she's just a whole psycho because somebody mentioned that man. And you mad with her. She apologizing like, what else you want her to do? Angela was mad because she heard the other stuff Shamir said. Okay, cool. And so Angela told her, girl, you doubled down when I came to you about it. You didn't apologize. I just let it go and moved on. So Shamil was like, well, you never let nothing go. You didn't let it go. And so Andy said to Shamil, well, can you just apologize now? Because you see this still bothering her. So Portia was like, Portia gonna yell out, well, you just kept throwing me up under the bus and now I done told what you said. So Shamil was like, girl, shut the F up and this and that. You did kept throwing her up under the bus. Now she talking. So then Shamil gave a fake apology. I apologize for laughing, and I apologize if I said anything, and whatever I said to this and that, I apologize. And so Andy was like, you accept her apology? She was like, yeah, I accept it or whatever. I guess just to get past it. So then Andy gonna ask Angela, well, do you want to give her an apology? Because she said she almost lost her job with the Hawks and the Falcons. Hell, Candy got you the job with the Hawks and the Falcons. Call Candy. She could talk to the people for you. I'm sure you was fine. But anyway, so she was like, well, Angela was like, well, I apologize for offending you, and I don't want her to lose her job that she don't need, because she gonna tell us she don't need no job because she got plenty of money. She's like, but don't mention my husband, because if you do, I'm coming back blood for blood. And I think it was Kelly that was like, oh, no, Shamir that was like, oh, see, ain't no OC. She telling you her bottom line. She telling you her boundaries. She telling you that if you touch the tiger by the tail, she coming for you. Don't mention her husband. She ain't even come after you that bad about her daughter. Don't mention her husband. She telling you where her bottom line is. If you don't respect it and she come back with a buzzsaw, at that point, Shamir, you're not a victim, because you know exactly what it is. Now she's spelling it out for you plain. Angela said, and I quote, do not mention my husband because I'm coming back blood for blood. Simple. Because that's what happened. Shamir ran around. She came for my marriage. She came for my marriage. And I said then, no, she did not. She came for your coochie. You call her husband a hoe. She called you a hoe. Mind you, by rights, Angela was supposed to call your husband a hoe, but she didn't do that. Apparently, Mr. Gerald ain't did nothing wrong. So she called you a hoe. Since you called her husband a hoe, she called you a hoe. And then you started crying. You was the victim immediately. Okay. So then, of course, you got Shamil saying that's not a real apology. What you gave wasn't no real apology. So she's supposed to accept your fake, well, if I did something and whatever I may have said, but she supposed to accept that, but you can't accept the fake one she gave you. You gave her a fake when she gave you a fake one back. How you gonna hand her a Morganite ring like Robin Dixon and then expect a diamond in return? Come on, Juan. That ain't how that go. So anyway, the viewer asked about the chili cheese, Frito coochie, platinum coochie, all that weird stuff Kelly and Portia was talking about. So Portia was like, the one my spouses love. And Kelly was like, yeah, well, they love it. And Portia said, yeah, and the one you wanted too. Which I told y'all, put a 7 in the chat. If y'all remember the live stream where I told y'all that was Kelly's problem. When Kelly found out, hey, B, stay winning. When Kelly found out, probably preseason, that her and Portia had dated that man in common, they dated that same dude at one point or another, that's when Kelly had a problem with Portia. It wasn't about you took that lady husband and all that. That's why she keep comparing herself to Portia. That's why we saw Portia on this reunion say, oh, I'm happy being 45 in the standard, for Kelly to then go on Carlos King and say, oh, I'm the standard. She's obsessed and comparing herself to that lady left, right, and center because y'all dated the same man. And it's bugging her because they're two totally different types of women. And I'm just like, baby, comparison is the thief of joy. You can sit up comparing yourself to other people. You ain't gonna never be happy because they can't be you and you can't be them. But I've been said that. Thank y'all for my 7s. I called it out. And Portia's just put it on. She put it on the dinner table. She say, yeah, and the one you wanted too. So apparently the man didn't want Kelly, but he was chasing Portia. I say, here we go. So Andy was like, well, any receipts on what was said, about Kelly with the married man, yada, yada. Portia said, well, I am the receipts because I was standing there live when the text messages came through. And Andy said, well, you was upset because she said you slept with a married man on camera, then you said it about her. And they over there nodding on the dumb couch. Like, yeah, dummy, if you said it about her, why she can't say it about you? And so Portia was like, absolutely. Because she said it about me first. She just did an interview calling me a liar and doing all that after we supposedly made up. She said, so I went and took a lie detector test, honey. And it was like, spoiler alert, you passed. So they played the clips from the man questioning her, asking the questions, having her strapped down and all that. So Andy was like, of course she passed because they got the paperwork. So Andy asked Phaedra, well, would this be admissible in court? And so Phaedra told him the truth. Like in the court of law, absolutely not. Because if you find one of them sociopath or psychopath, I don't know which one, I get them mixed up. I get them paths mixed up. Something with a socio or a psycho. But one of them can like convince themselves that the lie be true, and then they can fake out the test. But you got to be real good to fake a test out. But like serial killer, Norman Bates good. But yeah. But for the most part, if you fail in a lot of test, it's because you're lying, right? But Portia said, well, for the Court of Housewives, I was asked very specific questions. All I'm saying is, if we beefing, then let it be beef, and we could keep it beef, but don't pretend like we cool and then sit up and say all kind of stuff about me. I say, oh, okay. And she's like, but if it's gonna be, then let it be beef. She's like, I can keep going. And so Kelly was like, then I'm going to keep my foot on your neck. And I'm sitting there like, Kelly, you know your foot can't reach that girl neck unless she lay on the ground, right? But whatever. And so Portia was like, then I'm going to keep mine on your little bitty back, on your little back. I said, oh my. So then Andy asked Kelly, well, what you feel about her passing that lie detector test? She didn't even have no rebuttal. I say, not foghorn leghorn, not the living bullhorn, not the fire alarm. You ain't got nothing to say? Talking about who cares? I don't know anything about a test. What do you mean you don't know anything about a test? Why do you not have something to say? Even when Carly Red went and got the lie to take the test, that poo chick that had been lying on her at least she had enough heart to scream, that's fake. That's effed up. That's fake. You ain't do nothing. You just said that I don't know anything about a test. You do know about that test. You know she passed that test because you knew she wasn't lying on you. And I said during the season, Portia too sure about this. When Portia be lying, she try to pivot. She try to blame somebody else. She try to change what she said. But Portia didn't do that this time. And I said then, I had a sneaking suspicion that heifer really saw something. She seen something. So Honey Dip say the people that hate Portia still gonna feel like Portia lying. I mean, you could feel like it, but the test is the test. Okay, Dom Down say who cares is crazy. Right. You done went and took a whole lie detector test that say you telling the truth. If I know I ain't did something, strap me up next would have been my response. Strap me up. Because at that point, if I say strap me up, you strap me up and I pass the test, then what that says is the man sent the text message, but he could have been lying. We know men lie like they breathe. So he could have been lying, right? That's the way I seen it. But instead of Kelly saying, what, do me next. Do me next. Who cares? I don't know nothing about no test. It's given you was out there humping around like Bobby Brown, okay? So anyway, after she ain't had no response to that, and or whatever, and so Andy was like, well, you know the person, and Kelly was asking Phaedra that or whatever. I asked Phaedra the question from Kelly. Was like, Phaedra, why you protecting the cheater? And Phaedra was like, well, that's my client. We don't have no issue. Basically, I ain't in it, right? And so Kelly was like, well, you never asked me, and I'm bothered by that. And I done been to your house, and as a big sister, you should have. Who told you she was your big sister? She just decided to help you because you in a bad spot, okay? And so she was like, I never said that about you. She was like, well, you insinuated and this and that. And she was like, but you never asked me. And so Phaedra was like, well, I talked with my client, right? And so she was like, but I don't care who you asked, and you ain't asked me or whatever, doing all that. And then she says, well, it doesn't matter it didn't stand until you co-signed it. Phaedra never co-signed that. Y'all let me know in the chat. I never heard Phaedra co-sign it. I never heard Phaedra say, yes, she's sleeping with him. Only thing I heard was Portia say, you know who I'm talking about. And Phaedra said, yeah, I know who it is. Do not say any names because I know they family. You know, she never said this is true. Phaedra didn't touch that. The only proximity that Phaedra Creonta Parks got close to that was, do not say that man's name because I know that man's family. If that's what you say you saw, you say you know, it is what it is, blase boop. Do not say that man's name on camera, okay? Phaedra didn't co-sign nothing. So I'm like, what you mean? It didn't stand till you co-signed it. She didn't co-sign nothing. What are you even talking about? You loser. Right, Sean. Phaedra was trying not to be in it all together. So I'm just sitting there like, you're super weird. It's almost like you wanted Phaedra to ask you about it so you could give your version of a story. And I feel like if you just wanted to give Phaedra your version of a story, you should have just told her you was at her house, right? Just tell her. Move on. If you just want her to know. My thing is, if it ain't no truth to it, why do you care about wanting her to know? Why does it matter what you want her to know? Why would you want her to know at all? If you making up a story on me, I don't need to sit up with different people to discuss the fact that it's not true. I said it ain't true, and that's that. But maybe that's just me. But yeah, so you're talking about it ain't stand till you co-signed it, and you co-signing somebody that got you fired the last time. Like she looking for a lick, and man, Portia was on one tonight. She was like, oh, look at you. You a stan. You remember episodes. I say, ooh. This the same chick that was like, oh, I'm not like you new girls. This the chick that said, your mama a Jezebel. This that chick. I love being 45 in the standard. This heifer own one. I don't know that I don't know if we ever seen this or gotten this version of Portia, but she on one tonight. Can we admit to that, y'all? She on one. Something going on. So then Kelly tried to like play it off or whatever. And I'm just like, Kelly, I don't know what you're going to do if Portia just decide, yeah, we beefing and I'm coming at you just as hard as you coming at me every single time. I don't know what you're going to do. I feel like Kelly do better when people are just ignoring her and she just scream random insults like she got Tourette's. I don't know what she going to do. This version of Portia here coming like both barrels. I was like, now she a stan. You remember episodes. I said, gee, Willikers. So then Kelly was like, well, if ain't nobody saying no names, ain't nothing to discuss. So Portia was like, look, I'm not mentioning him. I'm not mentioning the man in the kitchen, and you know who he is. And Kelly said somebody name. So Portia was like, oh, we naming names now. Go on. She said, now go name the married man. Name him. Don't say one name. Say the married man name too. So apparently she said the man name that her and Portia both dated. So Andy was like, "Who was that?" And she and Kelly went to yelling, "Oh, that's the man that Claudia Jordan mentioned that she knew that both of us had dated." And so Portia was like, "I said that on social media, on my social media too. That ain't no secret. There ain't no secret, you know." So they going back and forth, and Shamia tried to jump in to say something, and Portia told her, you hush before we talk about who you was with BET weekend. I said, have mercy, Lord. Have mercy, Lord. Shamia, who you was with BET weekend? Now, you know, I'm going to be glued next week to see. Shamia, do you have a rebuttal for that? And this is page 12 of our notes. We have survived. We survived all these. I might just staple these together and put these and keep these for our archives. Y'all know I keep all of our notebooks, but I'm going to be glued to the screen next week because I want to see if Shamia got a decent rebuttal for hush before we talk about who you was with BET weekend. Because listen, it was a lot going on BET weekend. Apparently, you see, I got my staple already. I'm going to go ahead and immortalize this one because this is the first time since I've had this channel that I had to type out notes. I've never had to type out notes. Like this was a first for me. Don't even know how I feel about this, but this was an absolute first. Never had to do it in the history of my channel. And yet here I am, typing out cotton picking notes. I can't believe we here. But yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, this is one for the books. This is one for the books. Shamia, you better not mess up that good marriage with that man with that money. You better not mess up that good marriage with that man with that money. The notes have been stapled, y'all. This was going down in the annals of history. Now, just like last week, we got a couple of things to cover. We decided as a family last week that episode 1, part 1 of the reunion was fully justified, no wasted space. This week, this the first thing we got to vote on. You type Y for yes, N for no. Was the second part of the reunion justified? Because, we always saying they could have done that in 1. They could have done that in 2. Was part 2 justified? I'm going to put my capital Y in the chat. Y'all put the Y or the N because we taking it part by part. Part 1, justified. In my opinion, part 2, absolutely justified. These heifers ain't leave no empty air. They didn't leave no empty space. They didn't leave nothing. I feel like it was I see a gang of Ys. So I feel like y'all think it was definitely justified. Sasha Bunny said why and yes, and this one was even crazier than the first one. It was. This one had a lot going on. This one had a lot going on. I'm just like, when I tell y'all, my hand started hurting in the first 2 minutes. I had to switch to typing. I've never had to do that. Y'all know I can keep up with almost anything. I could not keep up with my hand at all. There was no hope. No chance in hell that I was going to be able to keep up with them notes. Definitely some furniture moving for sure. It was too much off-screen action. Yes, I think that's why like the reunion is like it is, because it was so much that happened that we didn't know nothing about. A lot of the stuff out of context, we looking at people like, oh, you crazy. Kelly is weird and very delusional. I wouldn't want to be nothing to do with her. Larry says, fully justified. Yes, this is one of the best Atlanta reunions, maybe the best. I ain't gonna go that far, but it's darn sure up there, with the real ones, with them real ones. For sure, for sure. The cameras need to do better next season. They need to keep the cast minus Kelly. I'm telling you, Kelly serves no purpose on that cast. So I wanted K. Michelle to keep talking, but they cut her off. Me too. I feel like K. Michelle got more to tell. I feel like Kimberly Michelle has much more to tell. And I still want somebody to circle back around to Angela Oakley, Miss Strategic Talker, and say, what was your experience with Shamia that made you feel like if anybody was feeding crap to K. Michelle, it had to be her? Because the fact that Angela could say that and walk off and nobody called her on it and said, come on back to the table. Now tell us what the hell you mean. CC said a better host is needed to keep the ladies in check. Way too much crosstalk and convo cutoffs. CC, you right, but then at the same time, we need the crosstalk. We got some of the best dirt doing crosstalk. We can't, you know what I'm saying? We can't keep them so rigid because then we're gonna lose a lot of stuff. Tia said Kelly needs to go honestly give Kelly and Shamia a check to Nene and make Nene a friend of. So don't nobody want Kenya back? Now I see why Andy enjoyed it. I see why he enjoyed it too. I do. Did you see when K. Michelle told Andy she don't see Kelly and Shamia relationship? I didn't see that. I'm going to have to watch it again. Y'all know a lot of times I have to watch it again the second day, to cover any real heavy conversations that we couldn't cover, during their initial review. Because like y'all saw, we have a lot of pages of notes. So when the notes is that deep, I can't really break them conversations down like I want to and really get into the nuance because, hey, man, it's a lot going on. We do not need Kenya. Gee willikers. Andy does love the mess. He lives for the mess. See, Charlene said yeah for Kenya, but then Dom Down said no for Kenya. Adrian Marie said yes for Kenya. Man, Tough crowd, Kenya. Tough crowd. Tough crowd. Um, Larry said, Kelly ain't no true friend. If I gave my friend a place to stay for 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, and she don't have my back at the reunion, that's no friend. You can you should have Shani's back. Well, she had Shamia back. She was screaming and screeching. Mm-hmm. It was on Watch What Happens Live. What was on Watch What Happens Live? What happened? What K Michelle said? Say, oh, that's when she said she don't see their relationship. Okay. So that's why I want Portia to tell Shamia they besties again to see what Shamia does to her rebound bestie. Now that's just mean. That's mean. Not Kenya good where she at. No Kenya ever. So y'all don't want Kenya. Okay. Bring back Nene and Shamari. Even Mia would be better. Oh no, Mia ain't better than nobody. Give me 3 Kellys and a side of Stacey Rush before you give me a Mia. And Shamari done started nursing. Shamari not coming back to that show. I don't think her husband wanted her there. Cosmic Queen said, I knew Angela wasn't crazy. I could see through Kelly and Shamia. I mean, I could see through them, but the way Angela was saying things, like, I don't know. I just, and you know, with me catching Angela doing all that lying and being crazy about Charles last year, I just, honestly, I don't know how to take Angela until I start seeing evidence. Kenya's the only housewife that can go toe-to-toe with Kenya. Kenya can go toe-to-toe with Kenya? Who? Huh? Oh, no. Oh, no. No Candy. Bring Marlo back. Bring Marlo back. We need St. Pete back on the screen. Dom Down said, we just have to trust that Angela does her research. We can't trust that because last year she fabricated research. So I can't just trust that Angela did research. She fabricated last year. We did a whole live stream, multiple, playing audio tapes of her fabricating. Kelly's opportunities like Shamia. Shamia should have cussed Kelly out when she didn't have her back when it came to K. Michelle. Kelly's scared of K. Michelle. That's what I think. I don't think she's comfortable just lying on people to their face. I don't think she's comfortable doing that. Like, especially if it's somebody that might just get active, or start screaming just as loud as her. I don't think she like that. Duhart say, did you see Kelly roll her eyes when Shamia apologized? Meaning she knows her friend is weak. I don't know if that's what it means, but I seen her roll her eyes. Tia said, we don't need a toxic show. RHOA used to be authentic, real drama, not made up BS or petty BS. Oh, it was definitely petty. It was a lot of pettiness. Yeah, Kenya's really not good at back and forth. She starts saying goofy stuff that don't work, and then she take things too far when she feel like somebody getting the best of her. But Kenya plays a good villain. Like, and what I mean by that, you'll see somebody like Kelly try to be a villain. She can't fill them shoes. Kenya knows how to be a villain. Kenya is kind of like Giselle Bryant with that. They take their cues from production. Whatever production want them to do, they do it. They know how to play the villain role, and it don't come off. Sometimes it be a little cheesy because Kenya can be a little corny, a little cheesy, but it don't be super duper cheesy. It don't be, we could just see through it. Kenya played the villain so well that people genuinely dislike her for her villain behavior. Genuinely. Kelly, people don't dislike her for no villain behavior. They dislike her because she's gross and weird and loud. Like, that's a whole different thing. Some people know how to be the villain. And my thing is, if you're going to be the villain, be the villain. I don't like Kenya. I don't like none of them. That goes without saying, but I feel like Kenya know how to be the villain. On the real, like, we have Angela trying to be a bone carrier, quote unquote, but that's Sheree Whitfield's spot. Nobody can do it like Sheree. So it's kind of like some people, you kind of need them in the spot they fit in. I don't know. I don't know. I can see a spot for a lot of people on that show, and then there's certain people that I can't see no spot for. Kelly, I don't see no room for her. Pinky, Stanky Pinky, I don't see no space for her. Like, why is Stanky Pinky there? We need her. Why? We need her. Why? If you ask me, I don't see no spot for Drew Sidora. I don't know why she there. Why are you there? What are you doing? Like, ain't no real synergy going on with nobody or nothing. Like, I know her and Angela supposed to be homegirls, but they don't even play off each other real good in scenes. I would like to see what Angela do with some people with bigger personalities. If Shamir gonna stay there, that's fine, but move Kelly. Let's see how she stand on her own. You know what I mean? Like, I think they need to shake something up. Andy say this to Cass. We gonna see if he lying. You know, Andy done lied before. It ain't the first time, so we'll see. But listen, y'all, last vote of the night, 1 to 10, what y'all giving this episode? I've seldom, rarely, very rarely give a 10. Tonight I'm giving a 10. It's happening. 1 to 10, what y'all giving this episode before we get up out of here? What y'all giving these people? I see a 9, 10s. Jesus. Hold on. Y'all keep voting. Okay, I'm back. I had to go see something. So yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing 9s, 9.3s. I see 10s. Yeah, y'all, that's I don't know. Next week look like it ain't gonna be much lighter. I think next week is gonna be just as heavy. I don't really sheesh. I don't have no good feeling about how some of this gonna round up. Definitely want to see how Shamia gonna deal with this, because I feel like this thing with Portia, she need to deal with it head on. Hey, Slow Glow say 9.6. She need to deal with it head on and shut it down. Like, I don't care if she did sleep around. She better get on that screen and tell the best lie of her life. Shamia, you better not mess up your good home trying to be on TV. And I mean that. Like, she got them beautiful little girls. Your husband is successful. He likes you. He's nice to you. He seems very complimentary. He seems like he is proud of his children and his wife and his home. Shamia, if you did do something, you better get up there, and this better be the best lie you ever told in your life. You better not mess up your home. And I got to say this before I go. Shamia, if you knew Portia knew any dirt on you, why was you trying to pick a fight with that girl? Why was you trying to pick a fight with that girl? Why would you pick a fight with somebody that you know your dirt? If anything, you should have left her alone. Why you going to random dinner tables when nobody's talking to you, calling people mama hoes? Like, is you cool? Why are you even taking that? If she leaving you be, let her leave you be. You leave her alone. You told your story, she told her story. You stay away from her, she stay away from you. Never the twain shall meet. She definitely less than smart. Why won't you stay away from this girl? Because Shamia, you stupid as hell. If you think for 1 minute, that anybody is gonna believe a lie that you telling, that this girl don't know your dirt and y'all been buddy paddling around all this time, use a lie and 7 sacks. 7 sacks of horse crap. If you think that. I've been saying for the longest, anybody with a brain know birds of a feather flock together. If y'all was kicking it tough like that for that long, it's because y'all hookers got something in common. Come on, man. Even say Portia wasn't even trying to go low with her. She sure wasn't. She wasn't trying to go low with you. And you done took it to a point where the girl is like, yeah, let's go on to hell. Say, coming from Miss Diane may be her down. It may be. It may be. And I ain't even gonna say nothing. Like I'm not even somebody that believe in, you get mad with somebody and tell all their business. That ain't my style. But by the time you go after somebody mama, they might feel like, well, then bump you then. All bets is off. I wasn't gonna out you, but by the time you start playing with my mama, now we putting everything on the table. Fatima says Shamia, and with her possessed demon attached jealous Jezebel BBL, is a true destiny swapper. Indeed, attempted. She would destroy her own marriage and home before she destroyed Portia. But that's how it worked. Now, the old people used to tell us when you dig one ditch, you got to dig two. You can't dig one because the first one you dug, you're going to fall in. Shamia is banking on Gerald not watching and trusting Shamia. Well, I'm banking on that too. Let me just say that in case anybody is confused on where I stand. I want that girl to keep her marriage and keep a stable home for her babies. In case anybody's confused on where I stand. Hold your house, Shamia. If you got to quit this show, hold on to your home and your husband. Okay? Shamia brought this on herself. I know. I can't dispute none of that. Portia says she going to hell with the other couch. That's what she said. I don't like the sound of that. I can't even say that jesting. Say that's right, Nitra, birds of a feather. Yes. Say, yeah, I don't want him to leave her, but she must want to give him away. That's how she acting. At this point, I'm looking at Miss Sarah sideways because why you not telling your daughter, hey, go over there with that man and sit down for a little bit before he start looking into stuff, before he start asking questions, before he start, paying attention to certain things, like get to the house. My baby in the chat, she can tell you what kind of mama she got. I'd have snatched her off that set so quick. Hey, get to the house. If I'd have had to go pick her up in my car and talking her through the cover story on the way there, why is you letting your daughter tear up her house? Yvette say, but Gerald has family and friends that's gonna watch it. That's true too. I don't like that. Shamia, you better not lose that man. You better not lose that man, because if something happened, Kelly gonna be the first one to try to sleep with your husband. Y'all talking about Portia. Is Kelly the one she better watch? I've been saying that. Shamia just interviewed saying she wasn't leaving the show. Stupid. Miss Sarah don't care. She too busy in the club. You so crazy, hood star. Andre say Shamia was never gonna be the face of RHOA. That was Nene Leakes, and Portia was a 15-year difference. Not only two women all failed in Atlanta. Okay, right, Diva Tool. You see your daughter about to mess up her bag. You, as a mama, you get in your bag. When in Rome, say Shamia's so hungry for fame and to be noticed, she don't need this show, but she don't know how to sit down at home. Always want to be seen. Yeah. Listen, the grass ain't always greener, and sometimes it's green because it's covered in horse-ish or some cow-ish. Girl, go find you something else to do. Coming on Portia's show, girl, go. But she could have came on there and just kicked the bobo and been cool, collect the check, do endorsements, like parlay that into some other gigs and stuff. But she just too focused on somebody else. Wrong people in her ear. Sure enough. So I'm so mad. You sent a cash app to the wrong Nitra. I got more. I got 2 cash apps. Let me see if it went to the other one. Don't feel bad yet. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me see, because that might be what happened. I have 2. I don't think nobody else got my name but me. Hold on. I got it. Let me send you a heart. It went to my other one. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. That was so sweet. That was super, super sweet. Thank you so much. Now, See, I got it. Don't be mad. Says she doing charities. She can go do a nonprofit job. She could have, what she could have done was try to angle that into a television show, like about the charities or something. I'm sure that would have been interesting. But instead of her finding things about her life that people will want to engage in, she just want to do what somebody else doing, and I don't get it. Ooh. Y'all seen what you tried it, said. I ain't said that. Baby sister said that. I ain't said that now. I don't know if that's true or not. Fame is a hell of a drug. Thank you, Richard. Well, look, y'all. We done been in here for 2 hours, 41 minutes, and 18 seconds. So you know it's time to go. And I got to go moisturize and put that wand thing back on my face. So I got to do that because I didn't get to finish because these notes took me out. Thank y'all for rocking with me through my first set of typed notes. I can't believe that happened. Y'all know how much writing it got to be 12 pages typed? Can you just imagine? That's my first time, but thank y'all for rocking with me through that. I appreciate y'all having my back. I want to say thank you to Richard Wilson. I want to say thank you to Iron Butterfly, to my girl Angie Girl. I want to say a special thank you to Deborah Randall, to Satra, and to Brian for supporting the live stream. Thank you to everybody who hit the like button, put your like number in the chat. Thank you to everybody who hit the engagement button and sent up bubbles. Thank you to everybody. Arturo, I love you back. Listen, this is real love right here because I work for y'all tonight. Baby, I work. So listen, I appreciate you. You know what time it is. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, please hit it on the way out. Elizabeth, thank you so much for the super chat on the way out the door. Appreciate the support. Hit that like button. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already. You know we love you here and we want you to come back. Don't let it be your last time. If it was your first time, we really appreciate having you here. I appreciate having you here. Hit your notification bell. Click also, you'll know every single time we go live on this good channel. Make sure y'all get in Discord because they normally know when I'm gonna go live way before y'all doing some of the gossip. His Discord, it doesn't even come outside. After you subscribe, if you want to join channel membership and put their crown by your name, there's a join button beneath the video and a membership link in the description box. Also in that description box, we got the link for my book, Little Girl, Big World. It is a survival guide for our daughters leaving home for the first time. Keep all of our girls safe. If you can't afford a copy, holler at me in Discord and I will see to it that you get one free of charge. I promise you. Okay? Also in the description box, we got the link for our merchandise store so you can get your crown gear and represent the royal family, and the link for my Amazon wish list in case y'all want to help out with snacks to get me through the notes, pens, paper, tea for my voice, all kind of little knick-knack, paddywhacks, give a dog a bones in there and all of that. But listen, I appreciate you guys. It's been a wonderful evening. They're taking us on a ride this time, y'all. They're taking us on a ride, and I'm enjoying going on this ride with all of you. Likely, I will be live again tomorrow so we can break down some of the conversations we couldn't do in depth today. So y'all get some rest. Good night. Sweet dreams. Say your prayers. Do not be going to bed without praying. It is way too dangerous, okay? And when you get up tomorrow for work, school, whatever, remember to be positive and productive. Encourage the people around you. Save energy to encourage yourself. And in case nobody else says it to you, let me be the first one to tell you for today, okay? Remember, God loves you. I love you. And there ain't nothing you can do about it. Talk to y'all again soon, okay? Bye.